What's going on, ladies and gents? What's happening? Let's get our audio check here. Make sure this thing's working okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Test. Let's see what's happening here. What's going on, ladies and gents? All right, we got audio. We have audio. Good evening to all you fine folks. Go up here real quick. John Beck's in there. Miss Heard's in there. Saying howdy, Chris and all. John says, hi, Chris and all MAAB members. Mimi's in there. What's going on, Mimi? Good evening to you. Rick C. says, hi, Chris, here from Chicago. Mimi says, hello and good evening. Hello, Chris, and hello, ladies and gentlemen. Limey Watcher's in there. What's going on, Limey? Ron Conrad is in there. Hello, all, he says. Pete, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. He said, hey, everyone. Hello, Chris. Whoop. Thank you, Miss Heard, for your support. Always appreciated. You know that. Big thank you. Another great hangout. Love you all. Well, we love you too, Miss Heard. Let's see here. Elaine Walls, thank you very much as well. You guys are awesome. Not trying to outdo you, Miss Heard. I always give $10 and gotta leave. And I got a LOL. Hi, Chris and family. Thank you, Elaine. Much appreciated. You know that. Much love to you guys. And get back in here. See, I know I missed plenty of you other fine folks. Tony Gibbs is in there. What's going on? Good to see you there, Tony. Cyberpunk's in there. Daniel Lee. Good evening, Chris. Hope you are good. And family, Danny Liverpool, UK. Well, I appreciate that, Danny. Good to see you in there. See where we left off here. We go down past here. Custom Tailored One, what's happening? He said, hey, everyone. Can't wait for today's live chat. No doubt. Kenny Riley's in the house. Evening, guys. What have I missed? Not a thing. We just jumped in there. Right on time. Let's see. Tony Gibbs says, entertaining group. Hey. Let me see here. What's going on, Adam? Good to see you there. You said, good morning, guys. Happy Friday and Saturday for others. Yeah, no doubt. I wish it was Saturday, but then on the other hand, most people have weekends off and I don't. So it doesn't help me anyway, right? Bobby Pentland, thank you very much, sir, for your support. Much appreciated. Let me see. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. That's a hair bit better. Rick the Rocker Graham, what's going on, Rick? So, hi, Chris. Always good to see you. Looking forward to the next couple of hours. Great videos as well. Thank you, Rick. Much appreciated. Jonathan Waddell's in there. Says, hello, Chris. Paul Roche is in there. He says, hi, everyone. Josh D's in the house. What's going on, Josh? There's John. What's going on, John? Good to see you in there. And John Ward's in the house. Hi, Chris. How's it going? It's going pretty good, somewhat. I'll fill you guys in there a little bit. Some good. Of course, some not so good. But, yeah. Pork Garden's in there. What's happening, Pork Garden? Drew Clymer. He said, hi, everyone. What's this channel about? Well, basically, we all get together and we talk about either the videos that I had done during the week, and then, of course, we talk about, it's kind of like a free-for-all. We talk about basically anything that's got to do with Mars, Moon, and any other good stuff that's got to do with space and all that other cool stuff. So if that's your bag, awesome. Welcome aboard. Good to have you in there. Paul Garden, you said, man, I'm glad Chris does this type of work. He has all our love. Well, much love to you guys as well, man. Like I said, it's just a great community. It's just, how do you not want to get in on this on a Friday evening, right? It's like just cool. Again, Bobby, thank you for your support. How's it going, he says. Going just marvelous. Hope you're doing good as well. Bush Corey's in there. What's going on, Mr. Corey? Mike Knapp's in there. Let's see. Jack Bruce is in there. What's going on, Jack? Hello, I am in for an hour. Sweet. Jean, you said, we'll miss you, Chris. Always looking forward to the show. Well, good to be in there anyway, right? Just jump right in there. Mr. Gossam is in there. Good to see you in there. William Johnson's in there. He said, hello, Chris. Oh, I made it today. Yes, you did. I think a couple times you got in there almost near the end. You're like, oh, man, missed it. Michelle Lovelet, what's going on? Howdy from Southern Cali. Are we entering the mini ice age? Kind of feels like it, don't it? Mother Nature's going completely wacko. No, I think we're pretty darn good here. Let me see. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss any money here. Rolando Alves is in there. What's going on, Rolando? What the heck was that? Oh, okay. It just jumped on me. I was just like, did that name just change while I was watching this? Hi, Chris and gang. What's going on? We're not Okay. Daryl Harad's in there. Greetings from Colorado. Renee Von Oosterhood's in there. What's going on? Louis Longbeard, thank you very much for your support, man. Much appreciated. He said, hey, Chris, howdy, chat. Again, thank you. Very much appreciated. Did you really, Jean? That's awesome. He said, did my first interview with History Channel yesterday. That's awesome, man. It's cool. Kudos to you for your work, man. Let's see. Adam, you said your last Mars photos, vids, was awesome, Chris. Well, thank you, Adam. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting things in there. When I showed that video for the first time, because I've done it, like I said, I think it was like a year and a half ago, right? Just awesome stuff. And if you're able to bring out more of it, then, you want to show it again because there's a lot of newcomers, plus the fact that, you just got more detail coming out of it, and it just makes it much that more awesome, right? Let's see. Kenny Riley's in there. What's going on, Kenny? Lucky Mole's in there. He said, finally made it here. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Lucky? Good to see you in there. Cyberpunk says, congrats, Jean. Good, no doubt. All right, let's see. Yeah, good videos, by the way, there this week, Jean. Really good stuff. Oh, God. I'm great. I must say this is exciting. I'm sure going to relax after a long week. Baking at work in the sun. Man, that's not good. Apparently work outside. Oh, a buddy of mine that does a lot of roofing. I'm going, oof. I mean, you're talking about days of like 90s plus, like 90 to 100, hitting the triple digits. Yeah, that's never good. All right, then, Miss Here. I understand. I see what you're saying there. Trell says, hi. Hey, Chris. What's going on, Trell? That's some new people in there. That's awesome. Pulse Driver's in there. What's going on, Pulse Driver? Said, hi, Chris. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Noodles is in there. What's going on, Noodles? He said, great video about the records this week, Chris. And then, of course, he's saying hello. Hi, Jean Ward. Yeah, it's a little toasty to Cyberpunk. We put on there 107 degrees here in Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah, I mean, up till not too long ago, man, it's been what? It never even got out of like 97, 98 degrees, and that was just a regular heat. That's just a regular temperature. That was not, had nothing to do with the, heat index or any of that sort. And, I mean, it's gotten a lot better now. It's cooled down here because it's now raining and we've got thunderstorms going on. It's like 72 degrees. Like, whew, man, feels good. I was out there earlier and it feels real good. Just chill out there on the deck and listen to the rain. FC Mackin's in the house. Says, hi, Chris and fellow Mars researchers. What's going on, man? Josh D said, Chris, that sphere was a bombshell. Wow. Yeah, the last time I did that, I showed people, and it's like, how is that natural in any way, shape, or form, right? Because when you look at it, you're just going, it looks so smooth and just like almost perfect, right? Now, we're seeing it from only one direction. So is it a sphere or is it something else that it's like there's something, whatever it is, it just happens to be round at the face that's facing us? I don't know. But either way, that's what it looks like to me. And it looks like it's on this little platform type thing, which I found really interesting. Mike Knapp says, we've had thunder and lightning storms here in Wales. Yeah, we really haven't. They kept saying all kinds of, thunderstorms here and there, and it's supposed to be sporadic, but they were talking about how it was supposed to be like all week long. And of course, you've never seen a drop. But, in some ways you're not complaining, but in other ways you're like, yeah, well, if you get a shortage of water, you will be, right? Jean Ward, yeah, absolutely. He said, did you guys check out Jimmy's latest video? Awesome stuff, too. Yeah, he actually did a really good one there. Pretty good stuff. Of course, Jimmy always does a lot of good stuff, just like you, Sean. Mimi, are you saying about Jimmy, or you said is he back? Yeah, he doesn't do like a lot of videos like me. I was supposed to get out another one yesterday, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I was supposed to get one out yesterday and got sidetracked because I come home from work and found out now my second cat has had a stroke. The first one was like a year and a half ago. She had a stroke when she was blind and she was walking around and everything. Well, this one here, like her neck is kind of tilted to the left. Really kind of sad to see that. Went and had her checked out and everything else and said, well, dogs don't usually pull out of it and, they don't usually get better, but cats can. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. I mean, she's eating, drinking, all that good stuff, but, it sucks. I'm like, here we go. And, but they're all up there in age. My other cat was 16. This one has 14. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. Never a good thing. Now, like I said, it's like the second one. I'm like, oh, man. I told the wife, we're not getting any more cats. We're good. I love them to death, and it's like, but, it's heartbreaking to have to go through that stuff over and over again. We got one more cat after that. But the other one, she's doing okay, considering. So, again, we're not out of the woods yet, so we'll have to see how that works out. Well, thank you, Mimi. You said I sent her some love. Appreciate that. Yeah, Frank, I heard about that. It said lightning knocked out the Wi-Fi and cell service yesterday here in middle of Florida. But you said Frank M. Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing is that, I want to stay in the air, you know what I mean, kind of thing, if you want to call it stay in the air, but stay alive, if you will. Like I said, the power goes out here. Unless somebody plows over a pole or the lightning bolt literally hits the actual pole, we'd stay on even if the power went out. So we get it's approximately an hour with, the other computer running as well. So but if I shut that off, it'll give me just a hair bit more time. and I can shut off the other monitor, so it gives me more time. So yeah, I mean, not that they take a lot of power. They're all LCD or LEDs rather, so they don't usually take a whole lot of power anyway. But it gives you a little bit of time, at least an hour. So you're not completely in the dark, and I still have Wi-Fi and all that other good stuff. So, and I don't need the Wi-Fi. I'm connected, Cat 5'd in. So, but the thing is, it's like, we'd still be on the air, even if it went out for a short time. We could still stay on. John Ward, you said your buddy will be okay, Chris. Well, I hope she does, because, it's sad to hear that kind of stuff. MG Toe, what's going on? Must have snuck in there when I wasn't looking. Same thing with the photography, light, and magic. He said, hi, Chris. Hope you and your family is good. Yeah. Other than the pet going, having a stroke, yeah, we're pretty good. Yeah. MG Toe says, hey, thumbs up, everyone. That's right, guys. Bam, slam it down. Hit that thumbs up. William Johnson said, best wishes for your kitty. Well, I appreciate that, William. Yeah, Paul God, you said Real Jimmy. Can you post a link? Is that okay, Chris? I don't know the channel. Is it from Mars Research? Yeah, it's pretty much what I do. He does the same thing, just like Jean does, except he does more satellite than he does ground. So it's awesome. We're like all seeing, we're on the ground, we're looking from the air, or satellite, if you will. Let me see here. Let me see. Alrighty then. Make that a little smaller here because it's going to take up my subscriptions area. Yeah, I encourage everybody, if you haven't really subbed to Jimmy, yeah, check his workout. I'm going to drop the link right now. Ooh, that sounded pretty healthy. This is it right here. There's the link to the real Jimmy Roberts. He's awesome in his work. Does really good work. There's the link. You guys can check that out. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Richie Boy Legend says, hey, hi, Chris. Love these streams. Well, I appreciate it there, Richie. Okay. Jaden Fury said, hi, Chris. And sorry about the cat. They're great creatures. Mine passed away after a stroke at 16. His brother passed away at 19. Missed them both like companions. Yeah, I mean, when you have them that long, they're family, right? So it's tough. And it's not just cats. Obviously, it's dogs and other special pets that people may have. Some people are cold about it. They just don't care. They're like, oh, whatever. And it's like, well, you know what? When you had them that long, yeah, they're not just pets anymore. They turn into family. So, yeah, it sucks. I had a neighbor of mine. The cat was like 21, going on 22 years old. I was like, wow. Also, it was in rough shape. I'll give you that. But I mean, the cat still went to you. It let you pet it, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, man, that's an exception. You don't usually see that. The average is like 14 to 16 years, I believe. So, yeah. What's going on there, Third Eye Open? It's good to see you in there. Kenny Riley said, Chris, what do you think about the drone that's going to Mars? Yeah, the helicopter that's going there, we're all hoping, fingers crossed, that they're going to show, like, the real photos. It's supposed to be able to take photos downward, and I think it's got one that's, like, angled out, and it's supposed to be autonomous, so this way here the flight time's supposed to be around 7 minutes. They claim it's to help guide the rover, which the one that's in there now, the rover in 2012, or the Curiosity, it didn't need one and does perfectly fine. So I think it's for a little bit more than that. I don't think they're. I think the basic experiment is just to see if it'll take flight, right? So that's going to be the first thing to actually conquer, that it could take flight, and they're really optimistic that it's going to. And then of course, what are they going to do with it after the fact, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Everybody's like, oh, they're going to show the pictures on this one. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath on that. I'm really not. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Yeah, you and me both, Rick. You said, which we were just talking about the helicopter. You said, hey, Chris, I can't wait to see what you can do with the pictures we get back from the new drone helicopter they are sending to Mars. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm afraid it's just going to be just like what we're seeing now. I'm hoping I'm wrong. But the good thing about those is that, I forget how this thing's supposed to be only, I don't know if it's 30 to 50 feet off the ground. At least that's what they claim. But to me, it just seems like they're building this thing purposely to go up and over and around objects that they really want to take a really good close look at, that the rover cannot. Because this thing can literally take within seconds, go like this and just go up and around it, just go up and around, circle around it, and then come back down to land and recharge itself. So to me, it seems like, that and the fact that they could probably fly into things, like maybe structures or whatever it may be, caves, whatever it may be, just fly right into it. You know what I mean? Once they know that this thing can function in the atmosphere, or the thin air, as they call it, which I don't think it is, but let's say it is. We'll go with that. But I think that's, once they figure out it can fly, okay, great. Then they're going to move on to, let's go look at what we really came here for, because, the rover's going to have limitations. First of all, the helicopter can fly around a whole lot faster than that rover can move, and it can go up and around, different objects really quickly and take 100 snapshots, right? So it would be interesting to see what happens. Mr. Gossamer, you said, Chris, I sent you a message through Facebook, a message. All right, we'll check that out. Let me see what we got. Yeah, I'd really be, really interested in to see just how that's going to work out, because if they're showing the garbage that they've been showing, I don't... it's going to suck. But we'll have a different perspective, and you might be able to see, like, instead of just a corner of something, you'll be able to see the whole top of it. That'll be interesting. Let me do this here. Yeah, I got off this page by accident. I was actually looking at, it somehow jumped off of this. I thought, that's not good. Taff, Derek Baker's in there. What's going on, Taff? Good to see you in there. Oh, I totally agree with you, Tony. You said NASA seeds these photos. If they were serious about complete misinformation program, we would see nothing. Maybe a deliberate soft opening, introducing an amazing truth. Well, that's what we all think it is. It's like a slow drip disclosure. And it's, they're just saying, hey, anybody who really wants to know what's up there, they'll search for it. They'll put the work in. At least that's the way it seems to me. Maybe I'm totally off base, but it's just weird because take everything out except some of these. It just doesn't make any sense. And everybody's asked me, and I'm like, listen, I don't know the exact reason why they do that, but you can bet if it's to people who really want to know, they're saying it's there. All you got to do is look. But they do a great job of hiding it, right? Yeah, Robert S. Pretty much the same thing I've heard too. He said, I read that they aren't sure if the copter will fly because of the air density. What has everyone else heard? Well, that's the same thing I heard, but they also had a test cell, and they simulated the actual air pressure, density, whatever it may be, how much oxygen in the air, whatever, and they pretty much simulated that in a test cell. And at first, you can see this thing they were testing. It would just jump up and down. It wouldn't really take flight. But it was smaller, and then they have one. I mean, you can hold the body of it like this here, and the blades are just dual blades that are out like this, And, that one there, zzz, I mean, you can hear it's up to I think it's between 2,000 and 3,000 RPMs to take flight, and it did. So I'm optimistic it will fly. And, maybe they put it, here's another thing, too, I was thinking about. Maybe they put this thing to fly to 2 to 3, the rotations would be 2 to 3,000 RPMs. Maybe they're hoping it'll be less. So obviously they can turn the speed down, and of course the rechargeable battery will last a hair bit longer. So maybe they made it like an overkill. So if it is a little bit thicker atmosphere in the actual crater itself, which they should already know that because the rover has taken the pressure, the pressure, all kinds of stuff, between all the instruments on board, it pretty much knows what Mars is like. So, and right there in Gale Crater, of course that's where they're at. Well, that one there won't be. It'll be in Jezero Crater. My bad on that. But regardless, they can probably tell the pressure from there I'm trying to remember what it is they use. It's almost like a spectrometer, basically, right? But they're looking at the surface of that area and everything else, and they're getting a good idea of what the pressure is and air density and all that other good stuff. So I think what will happen is it'll take flight, and if it really takes flight, meaning it's got enough dense enough air that it obviously don't have to spin the rotors as fast, so therefore saving on battery. So they may have made it more of like an overkill, and I'm hoping that they did. More flight time, the better the photos. Well, not better the photos, but more photos it'll be able to take, right? So I'm curious too. That's the rover's one thing, but the copter I'm really excited about. We'll just see what happens with that. Mimi, I totally agree with you. I mean, unless they send a rover 2 there, or I think any given time they can use the MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and just because it's constantly orbiting Mars and stuff like that, they could easily take a million photos of that face of Cydonia. And all they do is they gave us, here's the original from the Viking orbiter, and here's a piece of trash. The other photo that was done much later, it was just, shadows and stuff like that. Light and shadows, whatever. You can see, realistic from the, from the other rover you're talking, and then it's it looks so realistic, it looks nice and pretty sharp considering it was back in 75, 76. To the piece of garbage they showed us years later. It's stop. You can just see that it looks like, CGI. It's crap. I believe the Viking orbiter before I believe that. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Thing jumped on me here. Third Eye Open, you said, I believe it was Richard Dolan that said that the governments have had a multi-year plan for disclosure, as in the dripping is all part of it. Oh, yeah. Like I said, they're going to give us to little pieces at a time. Like I said, they're going to find fossilized life on that, was life, when the new rover it's 2020, but to me it's 2021, but because it'll be there in February. But once it gets there, that's the rover 2020. I mean, I think at some point they'll find fossilized microbial life. Then they're going to find, we actually found real microbial, or they'll just jump to that. And then it'll be maybe like an indigenous, plant or something like that. They'll find something very small and very slow increments. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. They jump all over that and just completely, by the way, of course, as far as telling us about structures and everything else, I doubt it. I think what will happen is once we get on there and we start getting a team like astronauts up there and stuff like that, and it's now we're all high tech, we're up there and everything else, then they'll say, we actually seen this by accident, came around there was exactly, because now it's going to be past that stage. In other words, they've already seen microbial life, they've already seen actual probably trees at that point, and I don't mean like trees, but maybe shrubs and indigenous organics type thing to Mars, and then so then it'll be we've been past all that. Now wow, we were just searching and searching, and we found this what looks like this weird structure. So there was actually intelligent life. But by then, we'll be so much in the future, nobody will give a darn. Because we're just like so futuristic, and they'll be like way behind. In other words, oh yeah, they must have been, really primitive, because look at their old stuff. And it's like, wait a minute. But when you discover them way back in 75, 76, they weren't primitive back then, were they? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, right? Phil Cox with daughters Jessica and Kelsey Brown. What's going on? Good to see you in there, Phil. He said, hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Good to see you too there, Phil. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well. Tim Houston, you said the government get their info from the real world as world we all live in. It's up to us. Disclosure has been imminent since 1947. Well, to me, it's like, the government is like up here, right? And we're on a need-to-know basis here. So, so to me, these guys know a lot more than we'll ever know. So, but again, it'll just be this slow drip kind of thing. And, you kind of wish it would just be a lot faster. And, just throw us a bone here, guys, It's cool that they're, you've seen these little tidbits of things coming out, but to me, that's crap, to be totally honest with you. You want to see much more than that, and you want to see more of a jump in disclosure. I know you guys are all on board with that, right? Jean, you said Chris, they'll probably release crappy drone photos and blame it on 1 megapixel camera. You're right, exactly right. While they keep the 20-plus megapixel photos. And you know what? I have no doubt they've been doing that all along, to be truthful with you, Jean, because, when they say there's like a 2 meg camera on, like, the Curiosity, why? We had much better than that back in 2012, when they put this thing together. So, and it's not like they can't put something much better and more sophisticated. I mean, you can get a little Logitech camera or whatever for your computer, and it's like, it's ultimate, like, some of them are 4K now. So, and the government's going to have much better equipment that money can buy. Caltech makes most of the cameras. So they'll design, a perfect camera for that, that application. So you're not going to tell me, 2 megapixel. Yeah, that may be the 2 megapixel for the public, but that doesn't mean, I just find it hard to believe that they would have something that small. I don't believe so. I think they had their camera, or this thing can vary, because I can change the settings of my camera from like a, 1 megapixel up to a 12. So they can adjust that. Okay, this is the photo we need to give. This is for the public. Click, take another photo of that same area. This is for us. It's not complicated. They could do this all day long. So I don't believe for a moment that they're not finding something much better, and they're using a much better camera, or just adjusting the camera that's there, right? Turklerin Vadisi, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the last name. Please forgive me if I'm butchering that. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Good to see you too there, Turklerin. Want to make sure I pronounce that one right at least. Oh, you're talking about Richard Hoagland there, Tim, right? He said, I remember the Mars weirdness website with trees and such. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, it was Richard Hoagland and J.P. Skipper that discovered those things. So I think it was J.P. Skipper that found that originally. So kudos to them guys. They're like the forefathers of this stuff, right? And, of course, you never see photos like that again. You notice that? You don't see any of that. What's going on? John Shop's in there as well. You guys get a chance. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button, the like button, go ahead and slam it down now. Boom. 102 you watching. 56 thumbs up. Bam. The Unknown says, hi all. How is everyone today? Hey Chris, what's going on, The Unknown? Good to see you in there. Got a lot of new folks in there. I'm glad you guys are jumping on board, and hope you like what you're seeing here. Fine bunch of folks in this on this chat. All like-minded people, so if you're into the same thing, you'll fit right in. Just awesome. Oh, Daniel Lee said, Chris, what do you think will happen when the helicopter goes up? Will they still mess around with the pics, our film from the helicopter? I believe they will. The good thing about it is, let's say the rover is taking a photo of the ground, right? So we see, let's say it looks like some kind of broken apart structure, just for argument's sake. They see it, but now they have a top view with a helicopter. That would be interesting, because then you go, okay, I see a corner here on the ground, but it looks like more of a square at the top. Isn't that kind of like a dead giveaway? Now, it could be a huge block of stone, absolutely. But if you see multiple of these things laying around, and they don't look like maybe they're completely trashed or thrashed around, okay, and you see more than one of those in the area, okay. It almost just say, okay, clearly these look like structures in a row or whatever, you know. Let me see. Photography Light Magic said, make yourself bigger, please. Well, let's see if we can do that. Hold on. See if we can't scare. See how many people we can scare. Hold on. Just had it. There we go. That should be a little bit bigger. I don't like to make it too big, because when we go into the other photos, I can just shut it off after, so you guys can see the whole photo. But I hate to do that. Sometimes I forget I put the photo up, and my face is in the way on the right-hand side. So I kind of hate to do that. But it's a little bit bigger there. I just don't want to forget, and it's blocking the whole darn photo. Let me know if that's a little bit better for you. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Let me see. Good to see you there, as always. Let's see. Mimi Rex says, boom. Is that a little bit better for you guys? William Johnson. He said, the kid in me needs to be apologized to. I was a NASA kid. I used to follow the moon landings, built models, etc., but their hiding stuff disappointed me. I don't blame you. You know, because that's the thing, you know, you kind of look up to space agencies and stuff like that. Wow, this is great, you know, this and that. And like I said, I'm a big fan of NASA myself. I'm not a big fan of them not disclosing what they're really finding. That's my only biggest pet peeve, and I'm sure everybody else is with that too. You don't mind the fact that, you know, some things, you know, they could probably kind of keep secret a little bit, but then you're going, yeah, but why that? It's the most important thing to man. Why would you do that? It makes no darn sense. Blue Sunset, he said, about the picture you examined and posted on Wednesday, it's loaded with anomalies, and I totally agree with you. That is a wild photo right there. But if NASA needs to show Congress results of their funding, wouldn't clear evidence be better? Yeah, but see, Congress only wants to hear, okay, are you making progress? Have you found anything? Did you find anything of the proof of life? And now, of course, they're using other things like we're checking out the soil more to see if we can grow things. So it's not just trying to find life now. It's about we're trying to see if we can grow things so when we get astronauts there that they'll be able to live on the surface. So now they're changing up their pitch to them. So they're going, oh, okay. So they're going, because I mean, at some point, if you're Congress, you're sitting there, okay, what do you need that $8 billion for now? Well, you know, we're looking for life. Well, that's been going on since 30, 40, 50 years ago? So, I mean, you know, you can't help but to go, guys, come on. Seriously, what now? So, and you know they get this funding every year. So at some point, they got to be changing up their pitch to them and saying, well, this is what we've got so far. You know, we're absolutely positive. This is the reason why they're saying there's a likelihood they could find some kind of fossilized life, or maybe some sign of life. You know, that's how they're doing that. So they're going, Congress, we're close. Please give us the money. You know, so yeah. I agree. I mean, just clear evidence would be like, boom, you know what I mean? But they're probably afraid that'll get out. And if the DOD is involved, which I believe that is, the Department of Defense is pulling strings for NASA, JPL, and all these other space agencies, I don't know, that they're probably just saying, no, this is what you're allowed to show, and that's it, you know? And if they're funding them somehow, because it's military, then they're definitely going to be pulling the strings. The Unknown, you said, yeah, I always liked your channel. You never judge anyone else or say bad things about anyone. I respect that. Well, I appreciate that, man. No, I mean, like I said, as far as the subs, we got great subs here. I don't know if you're subbed to the channel. If you're not, you know, please do. And if you are, thank you. But the way I look at it is like, you know, like I said, we're all like-minded people here. You know, and everybody's great here. And as far as other channels, they do their thing. That's their business. Although I have been knocked on as far as, you know, my channel and stuff like that from other channels. But, you know, I don't care. It's no threat to me nor my channel. I don't care what they do. They've tried in the past, and it's not worked. But, you know, of course, went around with a couple of channels before. And, you know, to me, that's just water under the bridge. It's not a big deal. But, yeah, I mean, as far as the people here, you'll like them here. They're good people. You can actually say whatever you want. And as far as, you know, on topic and stuff like that, and everybody else, nobody's going to scoff at you because they're all the same kind of people, right? So I think you'll find it's a good bunch of people here. Metalhead, that's a great question. You said, does anyone else see many people in Mars or on Mars photos? In the Mars photos. I was being totally honest with everybody. I said this more than a few times. I don't really see them. The only time I seen something, remember I said that was the that video I did. It looked like I said alien frozen in time, and then I put, and there was another part to that title where it literally looked like an alien slumped over like this little craft. That's the only time I've ever seen something that came close to a person. Now that doesn't mean that there isn't any. My mind is more wired to see mechanical and structural. Maybe because it's what I've done all my life, you know what I mean? Being a tool setter, setting up machines. So obviously you got gears, wrenches, all kinds of stuff. And structural, you know, we all live in structures. So it's kind of like this, you know, that's what I see. Maybe my brain is wired to see that and yours is wired to see other. So when I say I don't see it, doesn't mean it's not in the photo, right? Because many people here will say, well, yeah, I see them all the time. So I don't think you're alone in this. Yeah, John, I totally agree with you. He said there are some awesome folks at NASA, hence some of the cool photographs that made it out. I think there are some people just kind of like, yeah, you know, of course, I think it's an AI kind of algorithm going on where it overlays on top of these photos. And I've seen this a million times, my God. In fact, that photo I just did for you guys and analyzed, there's something else that was in there, and I showed you part of it. And then I looked at it again, and I said, oh, my God, you can see where they did like a band around this thing, but there's all white pieces hanging out the bottom. I said, look at this crap. So the more you go in there, just go there the next day and look at it. You know, just, you know, freeze the photo wherever you want, like on the video, and just look, you'll see something different, man. It's just like, wow, I remember seeing it. Oh, wow, what is that next to it? You just see more and more things, you know? It's just crazy. Tony Gibbs has exposed the ruins of Mars. This thing just jumped on me again. God, I hate it when it does this. Wing Chun, you said there are visitors that are humanoids just in our own neighboring solar systems. They have wars too. I would think so. The only thing I have, you know, it comes to my mind, though, I'm saying, okay, if they're warring with each other, and let's say they're technologically advanced compared to us, and I mean like a couple thousand years ahead of us, wouldn't it be easy just to annihilate us on our planet and just take over the planet? But then you think of the other side of the coin. Okay, perhaps not, because maybe their air here isn't something they can breathe. To us, it's like, yeah, well, you got to have oxygen, common sense. Is it? We don't know what they breathe on their planet. You know, it's hard to tell. It could be a little bit slightly different life form, or it could be just like us. In that case, you know, it makes you wonder how they haven't killed us off yet. So it's really weird. It's that weird both sides of the argument, if you want to call it that, or discussion, because that'd be interesting. Paulie Max says life is probably below the surface. I think you're right. If they did have some kind of, and we already know that, but if they had like a catastrophic event, which it appears to have happened, and of course there's evidence of it, then if there are any survivors, they're going to live underground, or they're going to pull together the structures and anything they can scavenge up and use it for themselves, right? So they may be on both. They might be, you know, below as well as above. Who knows, right? Yeah, Metalhead, like I said, I haven't. Like I said, my brain's probably just not wired for it, but yeah. Jean Ward, you said Dr. John Brandenburg added the pyramid Raptor Zone complex. I discovered to his hypotheses that there is evidence of a destroyed civilization on Mars. Absolutely. And, Dr. John Brandenburg is the one who brought forth about the radiation fallout in those two areas. And he's the one who said, xenon and all this other stuff going on. And he's the one who talked about the very large explosion, very small one in the midair, like in the atmosphere as opposed to ground. So, very interesting stuff. Good stuff. Metalhead, thank you. I thought I was having a pareidolia event. No, you're not the first one to say that. There's many people that see look like little people. Now, I think a lot of people have a problem with that because they have a problem swallowing that because they're thinking, okay, is this thing any bigger than this pen right here? I mean, is there actual people running around that are that size? Well, we got to understand Mars is only what? A little bigger than half the size of Earth. So would they be very large? Would they be small? Who knows? We have large people here, we got smaller people here, So it's hard to tell. Esoteric Gold, you say, yes, it's a very nice chat. Oh, yeah, like I said, we're all laid back, have a good time here. Well, there is atmosphere, John. You said, John Shop, your question was, how does a helicopter fly if we're told there's no atmosphere? Well, it's all about air density, and they say closer to the ground, the air is actually more dense. So if that's true, this is the reason why they only needed to go so high, fly it up so high. I would imagine once it got a little higher and it got really thin, it would just kind of drop, right? So it would have nothing to propel against, or try to fly and push air, depending on how you look at it. So it would have to come up only so far and be able to, but I mean, if it comes up, 15, 20 feet, let's say it's only 15, 20 feet, whatever it is. Okay, that's more than adequate to get up and above something that the rover's really trying to investigate. Because think about it. We're going from the ground. There we go. Here's the Opportunity rover. Not Opportunity, but even the latest one's going to do that, Perseverance. But you've got these rovers, because this one's going to do it too, literally going to drill in the ground. They're looking for, some kind of, life that was maybe there. Okay. So whether it be fossilized or it's alive today, the Curiosity or the Perseverance doesn't matter. They're supposed to be drilling in the ground looking for this. Why do they need a helicopter again? Now, again, the most important reason is to see if something like that can take flight. Because once this thing does, and let's say, okay, it's a hit. We can do it. We know we can do it now. They'll be sending all kinds of stuff there. Because they'll have these things scattered about. Those things will be all over the darn place. And you can bet they'll be larger. Maybe they can scavenge something off the ground, pick it up, and take it into like a little payload type thing and fly somewhere. Kind of like they want to do those little goofy little tubes that they want to put soil in. I think it's the other way around. I think they're taking it there to drop on the surface. They're going to drill, drop seeds in the ground, see how it grows. And I think a lot of you guys agreed with that because I'm going, so let me get this straight. Drill, take up soil samples, look at it through the spectrometer. You can see what the composition of the soil is. Okay, we got that. Okay, now take it and put it in tubes and dump it on the Martian surface so when man gets there, astronauts, they get there, they'll be able to look at it for themselves. I'm thinking, what's the point? What are they going to see different? If this thing's already analyzing, are they going to say they're going to see like maybe microbial life in there? Could be. But I think they already know that. And if that's true, again, why are we dropping these tubes of soil that's already there? I don't know. To me, I think they're just going up there with actually seeds already, drill holes like you would any farmer would. Like, if it's something small, plant every 6 feet apart or whatever it is, 2 to 3 feet, just plant, and see how each of these plants grow. And now, once they do that, okay, tomatoes will grow good there. Well, not so much on the tomatoes will grow, potatoes won't. Well, lettuce does, and they can get an idea just how this stuff works. And they can say, okay, well, now we know we can plant there. Maybe they're putting other stuff in the ground, other stuff into the soil to see what would happen, with it. I don't know. But it seems like more likelihood that they're actually dropping stuff in the ground as opposed to, we're going to analyze it, we're going to put it in these tubes and throw it back on the ground so astronaut can come pick it up and analyze it later. You know, like I said, unless they're completely insulated, if they're gold or whatever, to repel any radiation or heat, it's going to be beating on these things until man comes and picks it up. I would think it'd be contaminated by then, don't you think? And how do you know they're not going to actually run these things over? That's why I'm saying it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely skeptical of all that. You know, what do you guys think about that? Gold Heart says, yes, a lot of people see little people. I don't know. I don't, you said. But, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know. Oh, this thing jumped on me. Whew. Archetype, Ned is in there. What's going on? Good to see you in there. I seen that, Wing Chun, yeah. There's a Russian kid said that he was from Mars in another life. Scientists are puzzled by all of the info he gave them. Yeah, I've seen that it was that story they had. I had a video on him. Great point there, Turklerin. You said Mars is small, but Earth is also small without water. It's very true. But they're saying just the body itself, right, is actually smaller. It's like just a little over half the size of Earth. But you're right about that. You know, you just cover it in water like it's supposed to be, and it would probably look a whole lot bigger, right? Josh D said the powers that be could keep secret the visible planes above our heads, secrets for decades. Mars and UFOs was not a problem for them, but there comes a time when it cannot be hidden anymore. Oh yeah, I mean at some point somebody has to slip up or be disgruntled or whatever it is, and hopefully that's sooner than later. I would not have a problem with that. Metalhead, you said I think all of Mars was and is inhabited. I don't know. It's kind of like Earth, right? We don't have people in every part of the Earth. I mean, there's very cold areas like frozen tundra, and of course there are a few scientists that live out there, kind of like in Antarctica and things like that. And then there's barren wastelands like deserts and stuff. So they won't live everywhere, but I know what you mean. You're probably talking closer to the water and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, Jean, yeah. The InSight lander has detected unusual underground activity. I actually played the recordings to that on the live feed. It almost sounds like there's something coming and then they're going. And it sounds like something's beating on the actual seismometer that they have there. And you can hear ding, 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 ding. It speeds up and then it slows down. Almost like if you were to take water droplets and just pour it out and drop, 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 drop. Then it slows down. You can hear dong, dong, dong. And you can hear then one video or audio bite rather. You can actually hear something that sounds like it's getting loud, like something's coming. It goes underneath the actual seismometer and keeps on going. It's just weird, just bizarre sounds. You probably could, Robert. You said, can you merge above helicopter and side rover pics for 3D perspectives like Google Earth? I don't see why you couldn't. But you'd have to, like I said, well, we got to see how this is going to play out to begin with, right? See how this helicopter, if it takes flight, that's half the battle. That's 3/4 of the battle. And then we're going to see what kind of photos they give. Now, something tells me you're going to see a pristine photo of the Perseverance, right? We're going to see that rover. It's going to be absolutely pristine. They're going to say, look at this. We're taking flight. We're over the rover. And, of course, they'll move it to a section where there won't be anything of any value to say. Say, yeah. See, look at that. And that's a telltale sign because if they do show that, everybody make sure you pay close attention to the ground around the rover. If it's clean, it's pristine, wait to see what the other photos that shows without the rover in it. See if the ground is actually clear. You know what I mean? If it looks like it's been manipulated and obfuscated, and then you can tell right off the bat, okay, complete crap. You know, we'll see what happens there. Let me jump down here to the bottom here. So if I missed anybody, just go ahead and comment or question again, whatever you want to do. I'll jump all the way down here. I don't know why this thing happens to be. Well, that's why. There we go. I was going to say, I'm not seeing some of the chat here, but that's because I didn't have the screen and the entire screen on here. Anyone see the meteor shower last few nights? Archetype Net was asking. I have not. I've been very busy. I don't know if anybody else has. Blue Sunset. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's more gravity than they're claiming anyway, because you said in a lot more gravity. I think there is than what they're saying, and even if there isn't, it's like, at least for the copter itself, the helicopter, if you think about it, okay, less gravity, it should have more lift. Well, wait a minute. The air is not as dense. Okay, so would it be like almost normal? Think about that a minute. Not as much pull, but yet the air is kind of thin. So would it be equivalent to what we'd have here on Earth? I don't know. Wing Chun, you said some of the remote viewers verify cities on Mars. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially that person, they said they went in there, they could see structures, very tall aliens, and that, they were basically, waiting because they sent people out there to look for another planet because their planet was in peril. Just crazy story, but that might have been absolutely true, because if there was a major catastrophe, which there really is, or has been, or had one, with the nuclear explosions and stuff could have killed off everything on that planet. I mean, one was right over the face of Cydonia. One was over just a little south, but east of the face of Cydonia. And like I said before, it's funny enough, you look at everywhere those rovers are, you can actually pull up a map on that. Landers, rovers, they're all just south in the equatorial region of that face. So think about this a minute. Giant explosion. Let's say there were structures there, and we have 99% sure that there was. Of course, it's pure speculation because we haven't seen them other than what we're seeing in the photos, right? But I mean, actually see it in a real pristine photo. But nuclear fallout, and explosions, and we wonder why we're seeing things that looks like it's been, completely wrecked and thrashed about. Well, there you go. Photography Light and Magic says, don't believe a thing those half-wits at NASA say. I think some of the stuff they say is possibly plausible, maybe, but the images say that they are lying bastardos. My buddy Italian, he likes to say that. But yeah. Yeah, Jean, you made a great point. I've said this before. You said, I think there's relatively strong gravity. Look at the way the Curiosity crushes stones, rocks and stones underneath its wheels. Well, more importantly, look what it's doing to the wheels. Now, this thing is supposed to weigh up, like I said, a ton, right? Now, you go by the gravity that they claim. Then you look at the actual rover. Now, the rover is supposed to be around a ton here, right? So, okay. Now, take that same rover, move it to less gravity. How much does it weigh? Now divide that by 6, each of those wheels, and I think I come up to like 120, 130 pounds per wheel. Okay, so what is causing them wheels to get ripped apart like that then? If we're going by what NASA says as far as the gravity. So what's going on with these wheels? Now I understand they're rolling over, rocks and stuff like that, but some of these things look like they had something literally ripped right through the wheel. You can see it actually torn and literally ripped up. It's like, what the hell's going on there? So it makes you wonder. And I don't believe they tell the truth anyway, and that's the biggest frustrating thing I have about NASA, because I'm thinking to myself, listen, just tell the people. You should have just told people right from the word go. But I think if they would have done that, they would have started with the moon, and guess what? It would have freaked everybody out. I'm seeing things in these moon photos. In fact, I got a couple of them coming up. In fact, Sarah, again, has been instrumental. She showed us, both Jimmy and I, we've got this page that she showed us, has all raw photos of the moon. So we'll be doing a couple of those. And there's one on Mars that looks like it's almost geological. But when you take a really close look, structures all up in this area. So, I think it was really populated as far as Mars, and then they had a huge catastrophic event, just like we'd have here on Earth. If you had something that was the size of, a rock come in that's the size of, Texas or whatever, you know what that's going to do to this planet? Majority of people will die, however, some people will live. Now, depending on the size of it, if it's the size of half of the United States, just say a couple prayers, you're all done. Unless you can dig underground or get into one of these underground bunkers and stay there for like a year or two, you're pretty much dead, man. You're a dead man walking. It's like it won't take much to like kill off the planet. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the bottom. See, this thing already jumped on me here. Oh, Wing Chun, I've been saying that for a long time. You said there are two NASAs, the public and one for the secret, and one the secret one. Yeah, I mean, there's like the PR thing going on, and then of course there's the elites or the black ops kind of thing going on. And I believe all of these space agencies are in this. It's like I said, it's like the United Space Agencies kind of thing. It's like we have the just a group of people, and then of course you've got their own like ESA, NASA, all these other space agencies. Then they have the regular, working for the public people. And they're probably not even aware of what's going on. They're seeing doctored up stuff too. Maybe there's, like we talked about before, and I think it's a strong possibility that the rover itself is doing like an AI over the top of these photos. But it's for when it comes in. So now the public or the actual regular NASA employees see this stuff and go, oh, look, this, wow, it's some interesting rocks and whatever. And then these, like I said before, there was like 3 or 4 computers. This stuff would go to a hard drive, and then when they go to analyze it, these people, they get into their computer and they go, okay, they got a software that removes that AI overlay, and they get to see the real deal. And I think that's what it's all about. And we don't know, but that's what I believe is going on. Kyle, I think you're right. Good to see you in there, by the way. I think they're in line. They are in line, and they're all little biatches. Well, again, can you imagine though being in part of that circle and the stuff that they see? That's got to be insane. That's got to be awesome. Okay, I thought this thing jumped and I didn't get one of these things. I guess we're good. All right, down to the bottom as usual. Well, yeah, John. Yeah, you're right there too. He said even during the Cold War, the USA and the Russian space scientists worked together. Well, the funny thing is, I mean, they made it look like the Great Space Race. Bull. Back then when they were the Soviet Union, again, they called it the space race, but was it them all? They were both trying to get information, and of course, the Soviet Union didn't send humans like we did. They sent the Lunokhod rovers up there and check it out. And they were pretty smart to do that. Cameras on board, they could transmit the photos back to Earth, so on and so on. They never had to worry about losing a person up there, but they didn't also have the ability to pick something up, look at it, analyze it, take it, stuff it in a box. Like I think they did. They took tech and maybe scraps of metal and they took it back with them in little pieces so they could take it back and see, wow, what's this metal made out of? Or what's this structure? What's a part of that made out of? Or whatever. Maybe small pieces of technology they found. They put it in these little cases and they said, oh, yeah, by the way, here's the rocks. I'll give it to the people. Here you go, here's the rocks so we can, put them in a decontamination room. In the meantime, after all the press has walked away and everything else, okay, get the other one out. Get the other briefcase out. They could have easily done that. Get the other briefcase out that has the real stuff that we went up there for. We don't know. pure speculation, but it makes more sense to me. Alex and Krafts jumped in there. What's going on? You say, hello, everyone. Sorry I missed last week, but I made it this time. Well, because of work. Well, work first, man. Play after. Remember that. Good to see you in there. I'm doing well. Alex and Krafts, I hope you're doing well as well. Colin Barry said, hi, Chris. How are you? I've been viewing a program. They said dust devils were responsible for cleaning the rover's solar panels. Now we're seeing photos, a shadow of someone next to it. Interesting. Well, they say that. I've seen that same one, and it's all about, well, in this case, it's actually about light and shadows, where the actual arm with the turret on the end of it, it was positioned in a way it looked like a person's hair. I think that's the one you're talking about. And it had looked like a figure, looked like they were like reaching up to this thing trying to clean it. But keep in mind, I believe that was a Curiosity photo, which that one's not solar powered. That one there is actually nuclear powered. And I'm almost positive it was that one, wasn't it? Oops. Drive-by Records Norway. Do the Pentagon's got UFOs now? I believe they do. I'll be truthful with you. I believe they have had these for years. And they've back-engineered these things. This is the reason why we're coming out with all kinds of crazy tech ourselves. And by leaps and bounds, I might add. Not just, well, a couple new things come along. I'm talking about like big time, right? I mean, just look at how far a phone has come in such a short time. Computers. I mean, crazy, right? What did I say? John Sharp, you said, do you think there are spiders on Mars? I don't know. I would imagine there's some kind of creatures on there. It looks like we can see what looks like insects. We've seen them in the air. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these things are nothing more than like artifacts of the photo, right? Like there's one, you can see it looks like a little UFO, and it's on a lot of the, I believe, left mass cam or the nav cam. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But either way, it's there permanently. There's no way around it. And every now and then you have people, look, there's a UFO. It's not a UFO. But you'll have these little black dots. I've seen these many a times. I don't care about those. What I care about is the ones that have like an actual motion blur on either side of them. That tells me it's moving. Now, if somebody will say, excuse me, I did a video on this one time, and somebody said, well, it's the wind blowing up dust. They're only microns big, blah, 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 blah. And I totally agree with that. Where's the rest of it? Why do you only see one there? Where's the rest of them? You only see one piece of dust particle. Come on now. If the wind's blowing like they claim it does, and they had photos where you can see like the, you can like see the sun, but you can see like it's all hazed out by this red dust. Well, wait a minute. Why would you see 1 micron of something just happen, and you see a blur behind it like it's flying? And it's not the first time I've seen these, right? Let me jump all the way back down here. Got the latest ones here. Stephen Porter, good to see you in there. You said, Chris, if Mars had an advanced civilization and had the technology to lead the planet, who's to say that they didn't have technology to seed many planets, Earth included? Well, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a whole lot of things, we can theorize because, like I said, is it possible way back thousands of years ago, because we know that human beings are much older than, it started, 10,000 years ago? Hell, ancient ruins show much, much older than that. And now they think we're like 250,000 to 500,000 years old as far as civilized man. So if that's true, even if it was 500,000 years, 500,000 years ago, okay, still, we might have been advanced back then. And of course, a great catastrophe hit here, almost killed off the human race, but we rebuilt. and we are what we are today. And according to the ancient, Mayans and stuff like that, that's a fifth cycle we're in. And there's other, ancient civilizations that claim the same. So if that's true, how do we know we weren't sophisticated enough? We were going back and forth to Mars. We had a civilization there going back and forth. We don't know. And again, pure speculation. But if we did, and that's a big if they did, and suddenly Mars was they knew there's a pending doom, and they just said, okay, jump to this planet, and we just added to who we are now, or we started there. And a lot of, they call them rogue scientists, but a lot of scientists think we are Martians. We came from Mars, because you have the theory of panspermia, where they claim, if some body hit the actual Mars, like a meteor, asteroid, whatever it may have been, threw a projector into the atmosphere and then out into space, it made its way to Earth, it seeded Earth here. So that's the theory of panspermia. There's other, it could have been like we talked about, we lived on Mars to begin with, seen this doom or this catastrophe. Maybe there's one prior to the last one, and we moved here, started life here, and we still had a civilization still living over there. Who the hell knows? What do you guys think? You guys got your own theories? Hey, Strauss, 1AV, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. He said, good evening, all. William John, you said, it's frustrating in an ideal world, our appointed explorers and scientists shouldn't be hiding things from us, but I guess it isn't ideal. You're right about that. Turklerin, you said, Chris, if they public moon image 4K, then they will be in a problem because people like you. Well, like I said, I had this argument with somebody on there, and I think I told you the story where there was one guy that said, here's a high-res photo of the moon. Yeah, have a look at this. Where are your structures now? Kind of sarcastically. And I said, what about it? Again, they've mapped the moon, thousands of times, right? What they did was, when you zoom into this perfectly, it looks like a really good quality. Moon. It looks really pristine. But as you zoom in, you get into the point where you see the strips. Okay. Each of them strips, you can see where they've actually, one's clearer, one is not. Now you can say, well, maybe it's out of focus, and I totally agree. It could very well be. But when you get really into this thing, you can see where they literally blocked out areas, and you can see things like white pieces underneath the blur. Okay, these are purposely blurred and manipulated. So how is that photo relevant or valid in any way, shape, or form? It's not. Because, their argument was, you won't find your structures there. No, not if it's being hidden. Clearly not. So that's a bunch of crap. But, yeah, you can rip these photos apart. The ones that Sarah had given us, again, another great, researcher. She showed me some ones of the moon, and they were back in, I think, God, what was there, 1963? And they literally look like they have structures all over this. And I don't mean literally all over every inch of the moon. But you can see things on there that just, wow. You go, that clearly that cannot be natural. There's no way. So we're going to be checking in and delving into those things pretty soon. In fact, this week we're going to be in them. We're going to have a couple, maybe more than a couple of moon videos, and we're going to have some Mars as well. And like I said, that one that almost looks like a geological thing going on. But when you get really zoomed in, yeah, there's much more to it than that. Mimi, you said there is so much lost knowledge. That's a fact. Hell, we didn't even know our origins yet. Every time they turn around, they find another ancient civilization somewhere. You're like, okay, and that one predates any other one. Go back like Tepe. Every time they go back, it's going back further and further and further. And, they're just finding crazy things. InfoWars Weekly Leads. Good to see you in there, man. You said clear pictures showing animals on Mars, but they still haven't admitted it. And now sending a rover looking for microscopic life. And with the helicopter, I think their rover programs are just to get it funding. Oh, yeah, they've been, like I said, they're changing up their reasons now. Before, well, we're just looking for life. But now, wait a minute. No, now we're trying to see if we can grow. We're looking at the soil to see if we can grow stuff. It's like it evolves. Well, now it's more than that. So this way it could keep Congress interested and the people that are funding these guys to give them more and more money. But, who knows? Maybe there's a couple of elites that are on Congress saying, yeah, go ahead and just pass it. we're going to pass this regardless. Give them the money. Doesn't matter. Give them the money. So you can have like a person working in each of these branches. You got one in the financial, one in there, and one in the military, like the DOD. And you just say, hey, we need money. See what you can do about persuading these guys to give it to us. Blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't know that for a fact, so it's just, speculation. But, these guys get the money with no problem. Now, some people say, well, they get shorted on their funds, but I don't know about all that because they seem to be doing pretty darn well because it's given them more opportunity. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you got, all these subcontractors now working with NASA, like Elon Musk with SpaceX and stuff like that. They're going to be bringing those astronauts to the space station and back again. They've already done, they had some already. But now they're going to send like 5 or 6 of them up there. They're going to go up there and whatever and then come back, make the maneuvers. So you get all these companies, smaller companies actually being subbed, contracted, through NASA. It's given NASA to be able to use their funds to just do what they got to do, focus on what's at hand. So everybody pay attention to what's happening on this hand. Don't pay attention to what's going on over here. So this seems to me that's what's going on. Although they're pretty transparent about most of it, doesn't mean they are in all of it, right? Hey, Miss Eard. All right, no problem. Good to see you anyway. And again, thank you for your support. Always appreciated. You said, Chris and all here, I am saying goodbye as I have a few channels I have to visit and personal business and time to cook supper. Man, making me hungry. But anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping in and thanks for your support. And you have a good weekend there, right? Good to see you in there as always. Kyle, you said in our oceans are unexplored to 70% of our oceans or our unexplored. Yeah, basically, I mean, that's what they're doing, right? They're just, I mean, they're trying to, like the Marianas Trench. They finally went to the bottom of that, right? And this was years ago. But to just go down there and just kind of cruise around and look at, I mean, we don't know what's underneath. You can see these caverns that come up like this here up under the ground. They could be absolutely humongous, kind of these caverns inside. You could literally stick a state in there, or a country. It could be so large underground, we don't know. I've seen photos where I showed these like divers in there. They look like little dots, but they had these large lights on. You can see these cavernous areas. My God, you could literally put a small town in these things without even trying. Les Sweet, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said history is agreed upon lie. Napoleon. Absolutely. Stephen Porter, he said, Chris, images of the moon are far superior to what we see. Russia and America have orbiting satellites that have fantastic images, but it's classified information. Well, you know as well as I do, we all do. Russia, United States, they got pristine photos like you would not believe. They're not going to show us that. Now, a lot of times you can see the LROC photos. They actually look pretty darn good, man. I mean, you look at those things, you go, wow. Got to really zoom in and see the actual photo. You see the way I broke it up for you guys on this last video on Mars, that last Martian video, where when you go into the raw plate of these photos, you can see exactly how they've actually, or what areas they actually blocked out and manipulated and obfuscated out. It's plain as day. I mean, some people tell me, oh, they would not do that. Oh, you're so full of it. The proof is in the pudding, man. I can't lie about that. It's right there. I'm not putting this stuff in. It's right there. It's raw part of the photo. And, you don't have to be an Einstein to figure that out, that they're actually manipulating. Why would they do that? What's the need for it? There's nothing there to see, right? So we should have pristine photos. That's like walking out in the desert. Any one of us would go, well, there's nothing here but dust and cactus and, maybe a couple snakes and lizards. Okay, take a photo. You might see a lizard, a snake, and a cactus. Nothing there to hide. Why would you blur any of it out unless there's something in there more than you want people to see? Doesn't get any easier. It's not complicated. That's a good one there, Photography Light and Magic. You said all life came from the sea, so it's not absurd to think there is more advanced human-like creatures that are adapted to live down in the oceans. And that wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. Maybe they just thought, hey, this would be cool to just build up underground or underneath these caverns that are underwater, and they got a whole civilization up under there. And just maybe that they're more advanced than us humans on top of the ground. That's really weird. But, and again, pure speculation, but that's cool to think that, because maybe they've got these flying saucers and these spacecraft and stuff like that, right? And that's what we're seeing. I don't think that's the case, because we see a lot of it out in space where ISS, they blacked out, certain cameras on the ISS when they're filming around the planet, or at least Earth. And what you can see around Earth, you can see these things, and all of a sudden, whoop, we got to go to another camera. So I believe there's other things outside of Earth that's definitely visiting Earth. There's no doubt about it. And I think it's within our solar system. Although every time you hear NASA, oh yeah, we're thinking there's life out there somewhere. What do you mean out there? What about our own solar system? Why don't you talk about that first? And even if there's nothing alive in this solar system anymore, it doesn't mean there wasn't life in here, in the solar system. So I don't believe that for a moment. I don't think any of you guys do either. Kylie said there's more to it than what everyone thinks. Money. Need I say more? Money? It's all about money. It's what it comes down to. John Bremner, yep, you're right. He said NASA's obscure about most things, not pretty transparent. Yeah, I'd love to see him a whole lot more transparent. That'd be awesome. Mike Knapp, you said I'm out. Have a good weekend, everyone. You do the same, Mike. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you being here, man. Goat Heart, you said, Chris, the structure on the moon are gigantic. How come no one ever found them with a big expensive telescope yet? It depends on what you're talking about, how big, because you can have a really big telescope and still not see anything. Here's a good example. I looked at the LROC photos, and like I said, I found to be some good size structures, as well as what looked like spacecraft. Same thing with the Apollo photos. Same exact thing. Difference is, the LROC is only 75 miles off the lunar surface. And it's just like the Apollo missions when they were ascending back up to the capsule, same thing. They were like 25 to maybe 75 miles above the surface. You can see things really, really good if it's not manipulated out, of course, and we know most of it is. But so my thing is, you're not going to see it with a telescope here. You're not going to do it. Some people claim that they can. They can't. You may see things flying around the moon, absolutely. All day long you'll see it. And I've seen people really get into the moon, like P&K, space imaging. They get really tight as they can without really blurring it out. Because you can overexceed the actual, limitations of a telescope, right? So they get in really pretty tight, and they can see some amazing detail for what they have. So they do a really good job on that. But to see actual structures on the moon with a land-based telescope here on Earth, almost impossible. There's no way. Ian Wentworth, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. He said, highly advanced civilization separate from ours living in the mountainous areas of the planet. Myths about them go back thousands of years. Yes, I've heard that. I've heard between civilizations underwater, people that are hidden within the mountains, like you're saying. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. Way down the depths of the ground. Like, some people speculate because there's some of these holes that go really deep into the ground. They can hear screaming and all kinds of weird, crazy stuff going on down there. Don't know. I have no idea. Oops. Yeah, I heard about that too. Colin Barry said there have been photos of people on the surface carrying weapons, but they still deny that. Yeah, there was what was her name? There was a woman who claimed that, where you can see, like, she said that you could see, like, in the back of the photo, it looked like two soldiers walking towards her, or at least to the camera. How true that is, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the photo, but they claimed that there was. Now, to me, that's a 50-50 thing, because you want to believe that, but you also want to say, well, you got to be skeptical at the same time, right? You don't want to believe everything, but you definitely want to see some proof. Let's just put it that way. Jerry McDonald, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Brian Norton says, I'm here, people. What did I miss? Well, we're just talking about usual stuff. Mars, moon, the quality of photos we get from the moon, as well as Mars, what kind of photos the copter is going to take, the helicopter that's going to be with the Perseverance rover, trying to see what that's going to bring. And the photos that we're seeing on the moon, as far as quality, LROC photos are much better than anybody can take on a land-based telescope. Now I'm talking about observatories, because theirs are pretty large. They could probably see pretty darn well on that surface, but how close can they get in? I don't know. Because a lot of times when we see what look like spacecraft and structures, these craters could be really small to a telescope here on Earth, but when you see them from the LROC and the Apollo missions, they're quite large. Let's say they're only 100 feet across. Well, if you're so close, that darn thing is going to look incredibly large. And when you see a structure there, you're going to go, well, that's really big. Well, not if it's only 20 feet across and you see something really large next to it. So it's got to do with perspective, right? Just crazy things, man. You just see a lot of crazy stuff. Let me get down here to the bottom real quick. Third Eye Open's taking off. All right, man. Take care, everyone, he said. Got to run. All right, man. Good having you in here. You stay safe, right? Jonathan Waddell says, during the late 80s through the 90s, NASA had 20-plus missions the public did not know about. Oh, I'm sure they had far more exceeding than that. Because they can just say, we're just testing. Somebody said, oh, a rocket went off. Well, whose rocket was that? Oh, it was NASA's. Yeah, we're just testing a rocket, that's all. Or we're just going to, whatever. We're going to go decommission an orbiter, like some kind of satellite or whatever, putting up a new one or whatever. We don't know. Who's there to watch them? And by then, they've already taken off. And probably, if they did go to the moon or Mars or whatever it may be, then they've taken off and they're already gone before the people can know it, so they can't look for it. Say, yeah, we went up there, did something, came back. We're good. And nobody be none the wiser. Just because they're telling the public doesn't mean they're telling the public everything about every mission, right? Hockey Titanette says, back in 5. Man, he's getting something to eat. Yeah, pretty much. Photography Like Magic, you said that right. Said if the Earth is the size of a basketball, the moon would be about the size of a tennis ball and would be 7 feet away. Interesting. It's true. Turklerin, you said, why send rovers to Mars if you can send also to other planets? Well, that's true, but keep in mind they've already had orbiters go around Mars as well as other planets. They had landers go to like Venus and stuff like that. So they had landers go there. Probably didn't find anything of really big time value, but they know Mars, one, is our, it's our sister planet basically. It had life on it. And they think they could just easily put a civilization on there. So, and if you couple that with the fact that there's, actually structures there and civilization that once lived on Mars, that's what they're there for. That's what they're really there for. It's a recon mission, basically. I said the same exact thing, Jerry. You said, I bet NASA will say they launched a drone, but it crashed and that will be the end of it. I said the same thing. I'm hoping that's not going to be true. I said the same thing. I said, yeah, they'll say that. Yeah, we thought it would take off, but then it crashed, and there's no way we can, make it upright, and it broke a propeller or whatever the hell they'll say. Who the hell knows? I like to think so, Goatheart. You said, do you expect NASA's coming out with the whole truth while you're still around? I hope so. Now, whether they are, yeah, who knows, right? I think they will. I think we'll see some stuff in the near future. I really do. Now, the big story now, like I said, bits and pieces, very slow. They're going to slowly feed the public, and that's pretty much it. That's what they're going to do. Like I said, we need somebody disgruntled. We need somebody to tell the whole deal. Now, this is what they've really been hiding. Daniel Webster's in there. What's going on, Daniel? Good to see you in there, man. He said, hello, Chris, and all. No, I'm not aware of that, Wing Chun. You said, does anyone know about the Genesis Mars probe that took samples of the rocks from Mars and sent back to Earth in 2004? It landed on a base, it was called DPG, or Dugway, Utah, or Area 51. I'm not aware of it. I don't know if anybody else is, but interesting. Ali Khan, you said, Chris, you are the best. I think if we all knew the truth, the world would be in turmoil. Keep up the good work, mate, from Ali. I appreciate that, Ali. Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of us wouldn't care. We'd be like, yeah, we already knew that. It would be no big deal to us. But to the people who are unsuspecting, they don't even know there's a rover on Mars to begin with. And say, while we were there, we found life on the planet. But it's not just life. We found intelligent civilization once lived there. I still don't think people would freak out, but they'd be like, wow. I mean, that would be a mind-blowing situation just to hear it for the first time. Especially if you don't follow anything to do with the rovers on there, the orbiters, anything of that sort. You would probably be totally blown away. I would if they actually came out with it. But it wouldn't be like a, hey, I told you so. It'd definitely be that, right? We'd be like, well, not that we didn't know that all along. So, but to the people who don't even know there's a rover up there, they'd be like, there was what? I mean, they'd be like, you got to be kidding. Oh, okay, Wing Chun, you said Area 52 is DPG. Okay, because I know they said that they found another base. What was it, just north or northwest of 51? And it was supposed to be label it Area 52. I'm not sure exactly what position it was from that one, but I did hear of Area 52. Now, how true that was, I don't know. I was on the fence about it. But then again, we all thought, well, Area 51 was bogus, and look what happened, right? As soon as they took a picture of it through the satellite and gave it away, they were like, oh, well, that's no longer secret. Scott Schmier, you said any technology you see and use today in the public is 30 years old and obsolete. Yeah, I heard it's much more than that. Like the military has like 50, at least 100 years ahead of the public. I heard much more. I heard up to 300. If we are gaining technology like we are doing today, then it would not surprise me that the government, if they already have the leap on it, it's way ahead of us. And we get watered down technology from them, microwaves, things like that, fiber optics, so on and so forth. So that's watered down, so you can imagine what the military has, right? Think about that. James Gregan, thank you for your support. As always, I appreciate it there, brother. He said, hi, Chris. Hi, all. Late, but on board now. It's all right, man. Better late than never, right? Ian Wentworth, he said, I'm sure Russia and China are well aware of what's on the moon and Mars. On the moon and Mars, I'm sorry. Maybe they will spill the beans first. The only thing I can say is like, right now we're supposed to be at odds with China right now and whatever the president's saying. The only way I can see it is they just if we literally went to war with them and they just said, these guys are lying sacks of crap, this is what's really going on. But even then, I don't think that even their military or their space agencies know about it. In other words, we got the NASA, like I said, we got a PR side to it, and then we got the elite side of it. So even if, one got disgruntled and said, this is what's really going on, they go, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I don't think, it would take something like a war, I think, or at least attempted war on another country that's already got their probes out and be on the moon and everything else, for them to actually jump our crap about it and say, oh, yeah, that's what they're really doing. But then again, they'd probably shoot themselves in the foot because they're there too, right? It's like, no, that's what they're hiding on the moon. Oh, wait a minute. Better shut up about that. I'm going to try to PG this, but Photography Like Magic, he said, I'm sure the wiener head, we're going to use that term, Trump might sign another one of his executive orders to release the true images, LOL. Yeah. Again, even then, I wouldn't even hold my breath. Even Hillary was full of crap. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get the truth. When you see the DOD, they're looking at it going, listen, you're on a need-to-know basis. No, I'm the commander-in-chief. You're crap. We don't want to hear it. They'll never get the information. They may be privy to it, but they're not going to tell us. Because you can almost bet they're going to say, no, that's not going to happen. Colleen Barnes, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. You said keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you and everyone here. You guys are awesome. Again, thank you for your support. Raquel Gelstrom, you said, I'm late too. Very late by the looks. Hi, Chris. Hi to all. As long as you get a hall pass, you're good to go. Jerry, he has a few, I think. You said, has anyone seen Bob Lazar and UFOs documentary? It's awesome. Yeah, I think it's one that's real old that I've seen. Really awesome. And it shows like drawings of, the craft and how they were situated in different bays and stuff like that. And like there's rooms where they had these things torn apart and everything else. Really, really cool stuff. A lot of people question Bob Lazar, but I don't think I think he's totally legit. I don't know why he'd be, he'd lie about it. And the fact that they tried to basically, zero him out, so to speak, because at one time he didn't even have Social Security. You didn't work here. They said he didn't work anywhere that he said he did. And then all of a sudden he was a nobody. They took his social and it's like, you don't even exist as far as we know. It's like, what? So he had to go round and round about that just to prove himself that he did work there, and he did. And all kinds of crap this poor guy's went through. So it makes you wonder, why didn't they just bump him off? Maybe he had a terrible accident one day. You know what I mean? But then, because he was so outspoken about it, they're probably thinking, if we out this guy or off him, that may not look good on our part. So, because think about it, he's been bringing this truth out, and all of a sudden he dies a horrific death. Yeah, he might have been spot on. That's the reason why he was snuffed. So, yeah. Mimi reacts. Says, I wish we could all go to Mars together. All together go to Mars. And Mimi said, Chris would be our tour guide. I don't know about that. I mean, we can go to areas where we see these structures, but after that, we better hope there's nothing indigenous that's going to try to eat us or, stuff like that. I mean, there was people saying that there are dinosaurs on the planet and that the military was there back in the day, back in the 80s, where, they had a jump room. They went there. And, of course, there had to be military to actually shoot and fight off any of these creatures that would try to hurt the service personnel or other people that went there. I, for one, don't really buy it. I think it just sounds weird, but that doesn't mean it's not. Maybe they just call them dinosaurs, so to speak, but they're like indigenous animals on the planet that would probably eat you if you took your eye off them. Who knows? I don't think that's the case because if unless they're relatively small, these little things, I don't know why these rovers haven't been tuned to pieces yet. Think about it. So I'm not so sure that's all real deal there, but I'm not saying it's out of the question because I'm open-minded, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird. Let me see. Now, Wing Chun, let's be nice. I know you're responding to Daniel, but, keep in mind he's saying Area 51, not 52. But I understand what you're saying in this. I understand what you're saying, and I don't doubt that you probably were. But keep in mind, you may say that, but a lot of people, have a little bit of a problem swallowing that because not everybody can say that, right? You said that you were basically, you were on that base with the Army. So, but when the average person says that, they go, really? Do we take this guy serious? But he did say Area 51. I don't know because you're saying 52. But I understand what you're saying, but try to be nice about it. For some reason, it actually held it for review. So probably the way you worded that. But let's try to be nice about it. Just say, yeah, I was definitely there, without a doubt. And, but yeah, I mean, basically Wing Chun's saying, yeah, he was definitely there, without a doubt. He says, known as Dugway Proving Grounds. Basically, he says, I was on the base with the Army. That's what he's basically saying. I'm not going to go into it, but just keep in mind, Wing Chun, that, a lot of people may still have a little problem believing that. They're not saying that you're full of it. They're just saying that the average person cannot say that they worked at Area 51 and Area 52. So just keep that in mind when you do comment, or people tend to disbelieve you. Because I've had people I've had an anomalous guy tell me, he's anonymous, I should say, I'm sorry, where he told me, he says, and here's the weird thing, I'll tell you this in a second. I tried to write back to him. Nope, it just failed. No name, it just said anonymous. He said, what you're doing is right. Continue to do what you're doing. I've worked at Area 51, so on and so forth. What you're saying is you're so hot right now with your situation that, there's no doubt in my mind that you'll get to it at some point. You're close. And then I tried to write back, can you give me more information? Failed. Mail failed miserably. Came right back, was sent back. I said, damn it. But it is what it is, Sometimes it's hard to believe that, people work there. It doesn't mean that they're telling you you're full of it, right? Snods 88 says, hi, Chris. What do you think of the crashed Mona Lisa alien video on the moon? I said it before. I'm like 50-50 on that. It's possible because there's definitely crafts on the moon. I've seen them. I've actually pulled them out of photos. So there's no doubt in my mind that there are crafts. Now, was that the real deal? It kind of looked like it was, I don't know. It looked like it was kind of staged, if you ask me. Now, is it possible it's true? Sure. Now whether that part of it was true. In other words, did they find these crafts and maybe went inside and found some of these beings in it? Yes. Do I think this one's the legit? I'm 50-50 on the fence about it. Because somebody had talked about how they actually faked that weird craft on the actual moon because they took it out of this picture. And the picture was like, the thing was so tiny, but they seen the shape of it, so they decided to make one out of clay. And they got like a camera going above and around it and everything. And it's like, it just looks so lame, to be truthful with you. Now, is it possible that story's not true, but they did actually go to the moon and find these, derelict spacecraft and decided to go in there and found beings that maybe it crashed on there, or they just couldn't get off the planet and just died on the craft. Who knows? I believe that could be true. Very true. James Cragen, you said, Chris, man, your latest video this week was frightening in regards to how easy it was to see some of the stuff in the vid. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing I had one guy say to me, "Oh, you're not seeing all the things that you're seeing in these photos, stuff like that." I said, if I was to do this whole video, it would literally be a 3-hour video to pick apart each of these little things on there. So I usually go for the largest things I can find, or at least the amount of things in an area, and then try to look at those. And then everybody else can look at the photo too. That's why I always say pause the video, look at it. I'll zoom in, zoom back out, depending on the device you're on, so you guys can look at it yourselves. And then you guys can come up with some things. You won't be able to talk about everything if there's a million things in the photo, right? So, but I said, and I said to the person, I noticed how you didn't say anything about the manipulation that clearly is in the photo. Again, there's no reason to block anything out of a photo unless there's something to hide. It's kind of like I said before, like the simple analogy, you go to sell your car on Craigslist or whatever. What do? You blur out your license plate so nobody can tell you exactly where you're from and your name and everything else, because you can look that stuff up. So by doing that, it's something you didn't want somebody to see. You blurred it out. Why would you do that? Why would you feel the need to? There's got to be something they want to hide. It's as simple as that. Well, Wing Chun, he's been on here for quite a while. I'm not sure that he is, and I have no proof of that. If he was, he would be on. So, you know what I mean? So, like I said, he's been here for quite a long time. He's pretty vocal on, comments and stuff like that in the video. So, if I had seen otherwise, yeah, he wouldn't be here. Just to give you that, just give you that heads up. Like I said, I'm not doubting you, but you have to keep in mind, the average person hasn't worked, at Area 51 or 52. So when somebody comes out with it, they go, yeah, right. That doesn't mean that there's, some people might think you're full of it, but that doesn't mean everybody does, right? Okay, you said I am a 19 Delta and 11 Bravo Army soldier and retired and combat veteran. Sweet. I respect that. But like I said, when you come out with the other things, saying about working at these other bases, and I have no doubt that you probably did rather, because again, you don't know this, but and how long you've been following, I don't know, on these, because I think this is the first time I've seen you on here. My brother was in the Air Force for 11 years, actually 12 years, and he was Air Force mechanic, worked on just about every jet, Warthogs, all of them. He was asked, because the military at the time, this was back in the 80s, late 80s, was changing. I mean, drastic changes. So he wanted out. So, obviously he got out with no problem. And they immediately asked him, do you want to go work at Area 51? He said, nope. I said, are you crazy? I would have been, yeah, sure, I'm all over it. But he told me the reason why he didn't do it, because first of all, you're not allowed to say anything. 2, it has the highest divorce rate on the base because of it. I went, how is that possible? I'd be just like, honey, my new job is working at Area 51. I'm not allowed to talk about anything. So, yeah, love you. That'd be the end of it. Now, if you come home and she says, how was your day? Good day. Yeah, it was kind of hard. It was hectic. And then leave it at that. And she knows you can't talk about it. So I just like, man, I would have so been after it. They wouldn't even finish that sentence. Do you want to work at area? Yep. I would have been all over that. So I understand what you're saying. Believe me. Oh, let's see. Oh, Otto, you snuck in there. 786 Otto, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in there. Thank you very much for your support. As always, you the man. He said, hello, Chris. Hello, I hope you're doing well, Otto. Yeah, I mean, I talked to him in the morning. Yeah. Again, thank you for your support, as always. Renee Vaughn, yeah, right. First time here, Chris. Oh, I know it ain't you you're talking about. Cloudy with a chance of UFOs. You said Doug Way is a dodgy place. Well, if you really think about it, most of them are, right? If they're top secret, right off the bat, you think, oh, shady. Shady stuff's going on. And you'd probably be right, but it's not shady in that way because here's the thing. If they're coming out with new technologies, right, building new craft, experimental craft and stuff like that, like the SR-71, things like that. Back in the day, would it come out in the 50s? Wasn't announced or declassified until the 90s. So a lot of these crafts, and God only knows what we got now, you know, so I've got something flying around there. So the thing is, it's like, I love the idea of new technology. I love the idea of new weaponry. I love all that. And like I said, a lot of times when these new technologies come out, it gets watered down to the public. Now, obviously not a secret plane you'll get, but I mean, as far as like I said, like radar, well, like microwave ovens, fiber optics, all this kind of stuff, right? A lot of them technologies are invented and eventually makes it down to the public. So I think that's awesome. Noodles, you said the moon is where we will find evidence of higher order. Possibly our ancestors left message for us there. Well, even at the very least, if they've left other things, right? Spacecraft, everything else. I think if you went there and you've seen this on the moon, let's say they go there and they see a spacecraft, and you know, the first thing you can think of is, like I said, you get probably crap yourself first of all, because and if it's been there for X amount of thousands of years, hypothetically, then you're going to look at it and say, okay, clearly it's not ours. So right off the bat, it would like totally freak me out. But then the fact to go into these things, it would be like, wow, you know, just, you know, you don't know what you're going to see there, what kind of creature or person, or it'd be interesting to do. And basically, you got to have nads of steel and nerves of steel, right? Blue Sunset, you said on the moon, the famous pic of the being in a blue suit lying on its back with a flex tube going to his helmet, maybe a dead cosmonaut. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. It's an old photo, yeah. Well, we might have somebody there. Wing Chun, Anita M, I'm sorry. If you got somebody with his or her backstory working at Area 51, maybe ask them to join you in the live chat. I'm always for that. In fact, there was a girl that came into my job, and she was talking about this coronavirus, and this was when it very first started. And she got into it talking about the military, because she was ex-military. And she tells you right out, listen, we have underwater bases on the East Coast and on the West Coast. And she said not many people know about them, but they're facilities that are so technologically advanced, it's ungodly. But they're not like a city per se. What they are is like it's like experimental, like for medications and all kinds of other stuff. But she said on both off the coast and west and east coast. I'm sorry, and I said, man, I was saying to my coworker, man, I got to have her on my show. And when I said that, she was still talking, so she never did catch that. But I want to see her in there again because I'd love to have her on there. Amazing the information she was giving out. And she said, I can tell you right now, she said, that COVID stuff was basically engineered to look like our antibodies in our body, so that's how it infiltrated our body so much, and we couldn't fight it because it was actually made to look just like, like I said, our antibodies in our bodies themselves, right? I seen that, Jerry. Yeah, he said, has anyone seen Joe Rogan talking about the Army pilot who chased the Tic Tac UFO? Really interesting. Yeah, they had that, and they had the one off the East Coast as well, and West Coast. Really interesting stuff. And, of course, then they come out and say, well, it might be the militaries. And I'm going, oh, come on, guys, stop. And I'm not saying they can't make their own stuff, right? Again, if they're technologically advanced as much as they say they are, or we believe that they are, then it wouldn't surprise me. Antigravitics, things like that, absolutely could do that. But they're saying basically the human body cannot take those G's in different directions, which is true. Unless, of course, they have its own atmosphere inside where it stops that, where, you don't just get slammed into and look like a human pizza up against the wall. So, yeah, interesting stuff, man. I mean, they believe, now they're saying maybe the militaries, it's not somebody else's, I don't know. It's almost like they're always trying to steer you off the fact that there may be life other places, right? And that's visiting us. Oops. Wing Chun, you said Dr. Boyd Bushman was a Lockheed scientist that worked in Area 51S4, but probably on a lower level that Bob Lazar was on. Okay. Why does that name sound familiar? Dr. Boyd Bushman. When Sean, you said one of the underwater bases from the Navy I was told by an ex-submariner is in San Diego. Okay. So, like I said, that girl there, she was in there for quite a few years in the service, and I guess she just recently got out. But yeah, she was telling some crazy stuff. She said, "People, you don't have a clue what's going on in the real world, and they don't mean it in the public eye either." I mean, we're all willing to learn, man. That's what it's all about. And if it's something, if you can actually, I was actually looking online, which I thought was crazy to do, but trying to see if there's any bases underwater or stuff like that. If you can find any info about it, it'd be interesting to see. Because I don't doubt that they're there, but it'd be nice to have something to confirm it or validate, right? And sometimes that's not always the case. Well, I'd like to say 90% of the time you wouldn't see that. John Shea said, sure, there's a ham radio recording of Russian cosmonauts floating off into space. Sad to listen to. I don't think I've ever heard that. Archetype Net, you said, I have heard of these underwater bases on both coasts before. Very interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a little tiny gnat or something flying around in here, something. First I thought it was dust because the air conditioner's blowing around in here. I'm thinking, what the heck is that? Yeah, Frank, you said there's West Coast sub bases that lead into tunnels and link up to the deep underground travel tubes. Yeah, I heard they travel throughout the United States as well. But how true that is, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they'll have that kind of stuff underwater, man. You can't be seen through a satellite, depending on how deep you are, of course. Now, if they're using radar, well, that's different, but you get the idea. Oh, okay. You said he worked at Lockheed. Okay. Bushman was a scientist that worked at a skunk works. Okay, that's probably why it sounds familiar. Oops. I'm the same, just got a different name. That's a hell of a username. Peace. Daniel said they said 75% of the top secret documents are medical breakthroughs, and they can't make a lot of them public because how many people they have to let die. I have no doubt that they're trying to curb the population. I mean, without directly saying it, of course, I think it was, like I said, it was Dick Cheney that said that years ago. He wanted to cut down the population by like 70, 80%. And like I said, we've talked about this before, and as weird as that sounds, it makes sense, although it's cruel as hell, but it makes sense because you think about it. If nobody died of any kind of diseases and we grew exponentially, what would happen eventually? We'd eat up every darn resource on this planet within reason. And, things, of course, would get worse and worse on this planet. So I don't think that's the right way to do it. I think, there's a cycle of life. People die, people are born. But it's just like they're saying, there's such an explosion in the civilization. And like I said, and I really wish I could remember this guy's name, but he said right out, once a population grows too big for itself, it implodes. And if that's true, we're in a world of hurt. And this is probably the reason why they're letting things like AIDS run rampant. Because that was 80s when it blew up, right? But all these other diseases, you can almost guarantee they got, cure for cancer, 1,000%. But if you look at these diseases, how many people does it kill every year? How much money is everybody making off these diseases every single year? You name it, these pharmaceutical companies, everybody stands to make money off this stuff. Why can't they make, a wheel that lasts forever? Well, we can't do that because it puts out the tire business. They put them out of business. Why can't they make something that just, lasts forever? They can. I'm sure of it. They won't do it. Or at least for many, many years. It doesn't have to be forever, right? But just for many, many years. Renee Von, a NASA spy fly. Might be. Things like a little gnat type little thing or something flying around. I'll have to let it in when they open up the door. I think it was, Ian. You said, wasn't it the guy from Skunk Works that said that we have the capability to take E.T. home? Well, it's like I've seen one where the guy said before, too. He said, anything you could possibly dream of, they've done and then some. Yeah. So, again, we're talking about technology we probably can't even comprehend. And if we could, it's probably so far in advance, like you'd be like, what the hell is that? I mean, you'd be like totally blown away, right? Yeah. Good stuff, man. And I'm down with all this. More information, the better. That's what we're all here about, man. It's a learning curve for everybody. Somebody comes in here talking about how they worked at Area 51 or Area 52. I'm all ears. That's not even a joke, man. It's like, yeah, bring it on. Love to learn more about it. Custom Tailored One, you said this guy named Captain Corso disseminated alien technology to different companies like DuPont and other companies. Well, yeah. What is that? Okay. Tony Gibbs, you said cool stuff. Cannot deny Martian structures, but have seen nothing that denotes current life. Well, I haven't either. Although some people are still seeing, like I said, these small people. Now, that would obviously be life. But like I said, my brain's just not wired that way. I just don't see them. I did see that, like I said, that one looked like an alien, like slumped over in this little craft type thing that I'd done a while back. And that was the closest thing I can think to like a humanoid, right? But some people say there's these little people, and I'm just like, I don't see them. It doesn't mean they're not there. I just don't see them. And it wasn't one person who said that. It's many people have said it. Lots of Crafts, you said, anyone heard about the moon base they've been adding to buildings extensions to since the 1960s? I watched a documentary on YouTube about it, but I think it's been removed. Huh. No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Anybody else ever see that? Turklerin, you said, which population want you to kill? Well, they're talking about actually minimizing and lowering the population here on this planet. This is, Dick Cheney had said that. And you guys have seen those, what is it, like that stone wall, that monument that they put up? And they were talking about how they want to cut down the population. This is on that wall. It's like a black granite kind of thing. And it's like four-sided. I forget where that thing's at or what it's exactly called. But on there it states that they want to cut it down to like, I forget what it was, X amount of people. And it's like, my God, that's like a huge difference compared to what it is on the planet now. But think about it. If we, again, keep growing and growing exponentially, we're going to run out of resources at some time. At some point in time. And, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a planet you want to live on. Jonathan Waddell says it was highly classified mission for CIA, NSA surveillance. Oh, that I don't doubt. The only thing I can see, Colin Berry said, could there have been survivors from war on Mars? Say the hidden caves. Yeah, I mean, we have structures too that are like into these caves and stuff like that. These big bunkers and tunnels and military bases and stuff. So they could very well actually survive. But unless they had food stored in there like we have, they're dead. I mean, there's no way to live. So, like, we have, like, the big seed vault. We've got all kinds of different vaults where we got food stored away. We can grow these plants. Let's say something annihilates a planet. When I say annihilates, that meaning it just kills everything that's living on the planet. But then we find, after the dust blows over, so to speak, we can start planting again. We get soil, and we can start planting again because we have every seed possibly to every plant on the planet. So that would benefit us anyway. So I think it's possible. If they were prepared. Yeah, that could very well be Architect Knapp. Yeah. Who's else that just said it too? It just went up. Renee Vaughn says, thumbs up, people, hit it. Bam. What do we got? 147 watching, 113 thumbs up. Yeah, guys, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. Wen Chun said, Bud Rich is the late head of Lockheed that disclosed that the advanced tech that is like Star Trek. It is like the late Colonel Corso, or not Captain, rather, that was an intel officer at Roswell. Huh. Yep, the Georgia Guidestones. That sounds a little bit more familiar now. But that's what I'm saying. If you read that, I mean, it's literally they want to cut down the population like huge. Maybe this is the reason why they're trying to get people off this planet, right? So we don't actually kill off this one. So in other words, start a civilization there, and eventually, regular, the regular public can go. Of course, you have to be loaded with money, I guess. But the thing is, to me, it just seems like, if you could take all the stress off one planet and then try to, live on another, as long as they don't do the same mistakes they've done here, we should be fine. Jerry McDonald, thank you for your support, man. I appreciate it. He said, have some of my COVID warrior money. Just got paid. I'm glad you're getting it, because we get squat where I work. And but yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate your support, man. Yeah, I think you're right, James Dixon. You said and you're talking about the guide stones in Georgia. I believe that there is a set of stones that show the guidelines for the human race to be able to survive. Yeah, it's kind of like this weird, I don't know. I think they're afraid if we get overpopulated, like I said, again, it can only implode, because at some point you're going to eat up all your supplies, your natural resources, whatever. What's going to happen? Each country's going to fight. Hey, maybe you're storing more oil than we are. Well, maybe you got more of this that we need. And next thing you know, boom, 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 you kill off the planet and it implodes. It's basically planet-wide annihilation. That's what it comes down to. And what good is if you're in a bunker that you can survive it if you're just like just a group of people? What's the point? Anulas, you said humans, when a colonist breed of sapiens runs out of room to colonize, their world gets weird. Number one conspiracy is non-colony living rather. Yeah. Yep. Larry Lobo, he said world population today, I'm sorry, approximately 7.8 billion, 2 billion in 1927, 1 billion in 1804, super leader goal to reduce world population to 500 million, well, no, yeah, 500 million or maybe 1 billion. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying, they want to reduce it so much because it's like, again, we're just exploding, our civilization is exploding, and it can't, there's not a positive outlook for that because it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. So if you think about it, how many, well, these numbers have been fudged, but regardless of that, how many legit cases did the COVID actually kill as far as people? And it's what, in the course of X amount of months? Okay. We're going to say no germ warfare, but there was no actual wars, meaning we literally retaliated to kill this many people. It's literally through a bioweapon. So, you can literally kill off X amount of people in X amount of months without actually just literally warring with each other with missiles and everything else. So if you can keep doing that, it cuts down. But what people don't understand, let's say a woman gets killed or a young lady. Let's say she's 20 years old. You didn't just kill one woman. You killed generations after her. Think about that. She decides, well, I'm going to have a family. She has about, maybe a son and 3 daughters or whatever, or 2 daughters. Well, it doesn't really matter. Well, she won't have those kids. Therefore, their generation will not live on. So you're killing generations after generations, not just one person. So how many people did you really wipe out? And every time there's a regular war, meaning people warring over parts of lands or whatever else, or resources like oil and whatever, whether it be religious-driven, whatever it may be driven by, how many people have lost their lives, and how many generations have that actually been wiped out? That's the real math you got to do. No, I didn't see that, Mimi. You said, Chris, have you read the book, The Why Dossier? The author says that the human population will be reduced until the year 2025, about 500,000 people. I'm not surprised. Not even surprised. I agree with you. Frankie said that, killing the planet is not the answer. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. So what they're doing is they're just doing it on the sneak. we'll let this little bug out, this little virus or this little thing here and there. And, and like I said, they started that crap way back in the 80s. AIDS virus or this, all this AIDS stuff. And then everything just comes out. It's, flus, all kinds of crap. You just name it. Everything kills off X amount of people a year, right? Now, don't get me wrong. We have other things like car accidents and people smoking and stuff like that, which is crap too, because they never did. The cigarette makers never told the people that, by the way, this is addicting and it will kill you. Well, at least not all people, but it will kill, a majority of people because of lung cancer or whatever. That's not always the case, because a lot of times I've seen people smoke to 104 years old and still live. So, but it depends on your DNA and stuff like that, and whether it's, I don't know, if it just attacks a part of it and just, that's it, you get cancer or whatever. But the point is, it's like one way or the other, something comes out almost every year and it kills off X amount of people. Turkler, you said problem is food is copyable. We don't have to do anything, so we don't have to worry about it. Life find a way to handle it without with it. Don't worry. Well, it's not so much the food, although that is a problem. This is the reason why you're getting these GMOs. There's all this genetically modified crap, because you're trying to meet up the demand of the civilization, right? But it's not just that. It's oil. Oil plays a big role. It's, you got a lot of derivatives from it. You've got, we make a lot of things that are plastics. There's a lot of things that come from oil itself. It's not just fuels. So, if you run out of that, there's a problem. Simple as that, right? I'm the same, just got a different name. When did it become okay for humanity to breathe in their own carbon dioxide COVID mask? I know. As silly as that is, it's kind of, if you really think about it, unless you got a really airtight mask, you're still breathing in the oxygen, right? Think about it. I've had those masks on, those paper ones where, it's supposed to be like 3 layers and all that, and it's like you could put it around your nose and everything else, and still you're sucking in air through different sides. Unless, of course, you're wearing some kind of gas mask, which is completely sealed. You're still breathing in oxygen, but still you're still breathing your own carbon as well, right? Yeah, it's not good. Les Sweet, you said Bilderbergs supposedly have population reduction agenda. Oh yeah, like I said, they're all thinking to themselves, what happens though? They looked at like this projection saying, okay, at this point we're growing at this, these steps and stuff like that, and are we producing enough food? Are we have enough energy? Meaning natural resources? Do we have this? Do we have that? And they're crunching these numbers and they're going, it's looking pretty bleak, guys. So I can understand them wanting to do that, but it seems it's pretty crappy. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just kill off a few million people, it'll be all right. Yeah, that's not cool. But they can do anything they want to you, man, and you'll be none the wiser. Anita M., you said, we're done when we aren't able to grow crops. Oh, absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to make GMOs. They're going to have to make food as opposed to growing it, which I don't think we want any part of that because, I think it's been known to, actually cause cancer and stuff like that. That's why a lot of these people got pissed off and they said, listen, these food companies got to tell us whether it is GMO or not. In fact, we had the pies that we sell at work where it'll actually say right on it, this may have some GMOs in it. So I was like, hell, avoid that. So, a lot of people will do that. They'll look at this, make sure there's no GMOs in it. And they was basically told these companies, you got to put it on there. It must be on the label. Oh, almost guarantee it. Wing Chun, you said what happened on Mars is probably what will happen here on Earth. Yeah, I mean, if we don't watch what we're doing, you know, basically there's a war with somebody. Either they warred with themselves, killed their own population off, or they were killed off by something else. You know what I mean? Either way, having a nuclear fallout in two large areas is not a good thing. That just tells me there was definitely a war there, and they had gotten taken out. Now, exactly who did it and why? Well, that's anybody's guess. All right, Jerry, I see you signing off. You said signing off. Wait for a game. Last of Us 2, all of the best community, all the best, Chris. Another great hangout as always. Thank you, Jerry. Good to have you in there. You have yourself a good night and a good weekend there, right? Good to have you in there. All right, let's see something here. Let's check into the news today. No, let's see here. All right, got some space news. This is what I found was interesting. I don't know if you guys heard about what happened to Arecibo, but basically they had a cable break, and it did a massive. Oh wow, it's just insane. It's August 10th it happened. So the iconic Arecibo Observatory's giant radio telescope dish suffered serious damage on August 10th, 2020, when a support cable broke. And of course, you can see this. It literally did some serious damage. You can see it right there, too. Right there hanging from the top. See that? There's one of the supports on the top right. That's insane, man, when you look at this. That's not good. And if they're saying that they're not sure when they're going to get this thing back online, of course, they're going to try like heck to get it back online. The iconic Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico, I should say, right, has gone dark, at least for a little while. One of the telescope's supporting cables snapped early Monday morning, August 10th, ripping a 100-foot long, or 30 meters gash, into the giant radio dish, according to the University of Central Florida, or the UFC. The observatory has been shut down while engineers assess the damage and formulate a fix. We have a team of experts assessing this situation. Arecibo Director Francisco Cordova said in UCF today's statement, "Our focus is assuring the safety of our staff, protecting the facilities and equipment, and restoring the facility to full operations as soon as possible. So we continue to assist scientists around the world." So yeah, not good. 1,000-foot wide, 300. Arecibo got up and running in 1963. It was the world's largest single dish radio telescope until 2016, when China's 500-meter apertures. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it should show it right here. China finishes building world's largest radio telescope. Now, instead of having the receiving antenna over it, I believe that they have they used to call it like an L&B, like on a regular satellite dish, but they've got them here where they actually can just reflect off of each side of these things and hit these towers. Those are the receiving antennas on these towers, and it just reflect off it. So if you get a signal coming in this way, boom, it'll bounce off and hit this one. And of course, they can probably turn on X amount of them, get stare it a different way, and as far as listening wise. So that thing is huge. And of course, this was way back then. This is in 2016, so the thing has been up and functioning for quite a while, and I find it really interesting. I heard about that too, Noodles. He said just in Beltagis, or guys, whatever you want to call it, is dimming again after a stellar sneeze. I heard about that. Was it like some kind of cloud or something like that, and it's showing it's dimming again? I thought they had something different was said that was going on with that at one point. This thing just went down to the bottom here. Yeah, Pete, it does look like a giant moon crater, doesn't it? Imagine why some of those things actually look like that on the moon. But yeah, I mean, so it's pretty interesting. I thought that was cool. We also have, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but right here, a second successful rehearsal puts NASA's OSIRIS-REx on path to sample collection. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it's going to the Bennu, and you can see right here, this image was captured on a, this is kind of small. Let me go ahead and make this bigger. These images were captured over a 13.5-minute period. The image sequence begins at approximately 420 feet or 128 meters above the surface before the spacecraft executes the checkpoint maneuver and runs through the match point maneuver, which they do explain all these maneuvers. There's 4 of them. With the last image taken approximately 144 feet above the surface of Bennu. The spacecraft's sampling arm, called the Touch and Go Sample Acquisition Mechanism, or the TADSAM, or TADSAM, depending how you want to pronounce it, is visible in the lower part of the frame. Now, it's actually pretty cool, and doesn't really matter, but it's showing it here. It's just gonna, it went that far, and then it just pulled itself back off. What they're trying to do is they're gonna match the speed with Bennu as it's turning, and they're gonna get as close in as they can. So they're trying these different maneuvers, so that when it does actually build a land, it's gonna land there. It's gonna grab like a sample of it, and it's gonna bring it back to Earth. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know about a conspiracy as far as broken telescope, but here's the thing. What I'm thinking of, maybe it's like an inside job, like, insurance. Maybe get a brand new one. It was looking kind of shady. I mean, the thing was kind of old. I mean, since 1963, all they're doing is basically patchworking the thing. So, probably got a huge insurance on it. And just go ahead and replace all the panels, get a brand new dish there, right? That'd be pretty interesting. It'd be cool. Anita M., you said the UFO I saw, there was no engine noise. No birds or crickets were chirping at that time in early August 1983. And you know what? It's not the first time I've heard anybody say that. And they said, man, I've seen things go over my head. And the only way I knew that it was there, I just happened to, I looked up and what the hell is that? So, and they didn't even know it. There was, some people say there's maybe a faint hum to these things. So it's hard to tell. But even then, it's so low that you almost didn't even know it was there, right? Architect Net, you're right. You said Arecibo has not been properly maintained. Yeah, I mean, when you've seen pictures of it, just recent up to this point, it looks like, they weren't taking good care of that thing at all. They're like, hey, as long as it's still receiving, who gives a crap? But it's quite large, and to wipe out 100 feet of it, that's not good. SpaceX ramping up Starship prototype test in Texas and looking for a resort manager. Anybody available? Want a job? We can expect a lot more Starship action out of SpaceX in the near future. Oh yeah, they're trying to don it. They're going to definitely get this thing off the ground, which I think is really cool. Perseid meteor shower 2020 brings celestial fireworks to the night sky. On this day in space, August 14th, 1992, meteorite shower hits Uganda. You can see the bits of it there when it hit the ground. Well, actually, I didn't hit the ground there, but they just took it and they just set it aside, all the pieces they found. Japan's iSpace aims for 2022 moon landing for private Hakuto R spacecraft. The Japanese company that hopes to land people on the moon one day has unveiled a final design of its first robotic lunar lander, which will launch in 2022 on the SpaceX rocket. Again, SpaceX is like big-time player in NASA and stuff like that, and getting, supplies to the ISS, people to the ISS, astronauts, of course. And, so they're making money off these launches and everything else. And so, yeah. Shockingly young galaxy surprises scientists with its impressive bulge. Hey. Peering into the early universe, astronomers uncovered a surprise, a young galaxy that looks a lot like our home, the Milky Way. Scientists calculate the sad, lonely end of the universe. That's not good. But you can see plenty of news here to see. And there you go with it right here. Beltagese. The bizarre dimming of the bright star caused by giant stellar eruption. Beltagese's odd recent dimming was caused by a huge cloud of material that the supergiant star blazed into space, a new study suggests. So, yeah, I mean, just crazy, man. It's just a lot of stuff going on. Quantum communication takes a major leap with satellite-based experiment. Weren't we talking about this? Quantum communications? And they were these two scientists, one that worked for NASA and one that didn't, and found out, why these signals coming from Mars to the Deep Space Network, why is it suddenly getting here within minutes, not 20 minutes, but like within a minute or two? Not even that. They were saying it literally started to transmit as soon as Mars had Earthrise. Literally sending a signal was taking less than a minute or two, as opposed to 20 minutes like they always said. So, yeah. The new experiment increases the distance between two communicating parties from 62 miles. Yeah, well, you can bet the government has much more than that. Students grow rocket lettuce from space seeds. Yeah, baby. Away. But there you go right there. Oh, yeah. This is pretty interesting. Somebody sent me. Space mining, the challenge of governing future mining frontiers. What I found interesting about this is that they're talking about different things that they could actually mine for, and I thought it was pretty interesting. But, it's funny when you see this thing actually mining. What does it look like once you remove this thing? It looks like a crater. So, were some of these things actually made by mining? And this is how it got dug out, and it looks like an actual... This is the reason why you don't see anything center in these craters. But yet, we can see here, this machine, literally mining right there. And again, take this machine out of this giant machine out of there, and you'd have what looks like a giant crater. I'm the same, just different name. He said, I'm off. Don't forget to always spread the truth and check out my channel because I know you like to expose the government. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll definitely check that out, man. Appreciate it. Let me see here. The thing jumped on me. Let me go back just a hair bit. Turkle, you said I have to go, so bye-bye. Thank you for the live feed. Well, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. And your interaction is cool. Wing Chun, you were talking to Tim Houston. You said she never disclosed. She did go to the coordinates of the viewers asked her to go like the guy in Australia. And he saw her craft and took pictures of it. It was a triangular shaped. Terry Kelling, you said, hey, Chris, why do the moon's craters seem to have all of these flat bottoms? Well, see, there was two reasons for it. One of them I find pretty interesting because they say, well, it might have been lava at the time. This is the reason why you don't see any rocks, right? You usually have an impact. And so, in other words, some kind of celestial body hits the moon, and, of course, you get the ejector, and there's your crater. Well, a lot of these don't have anything in the center. They said, well, it's basically old lava tubes that, a bubble came up, boom, and it just popped, and that was the end of it. Okay, I guess we can go with that. But I don't think you'd see quite the size of the crater walls, although I've never seen a giant lava bubble. But some of these things are like a mile. wide. Some are only like, a couple feet wide. But a mile wide, and there's nothing in the center of it. And again, we've said this a million times on these, and you guys have talked about it too, where you got right down to the smallest one to the actual widest one you can find, and they seem no deeper than the smaller ones. Well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Something had to be real large to make that kind of crater. So if it was lava, even a mile wide, I just find it hard to believe. I'm not saying it's out of the question, of course. I'm just saying I just find it really bizarre. And what I said before is it's almost like if you could take all of the craters and everything off the moon, it's almost like a perfectly smooth sphere, and it's like artificial moon where they put all of these things on there, all the uneven ground and all this other stuff to make it look like it's a moon. Pure speculation, of course, to the max. But when you got the moon ringing out, when they slammed the part of the rocket into it, rang like a bell. They find all kinds of serious hard metals on the moon. Like I said, the smallest craters are no bigger than the largest craters. They're no deeper, rather. What is going on here? Just cool stuff, man. It's Josh D's taking off too. All right, Josh. Appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, and you have yourself a good night there, right? Yeah, pretty much. Frank, you said pronounce Beetlejuice. Yeah, pretty much. I like to say, Geis and stuff like that. All right, Cyberpunk, you taking off? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in as always. He said, later, everyone. I can take that. I know I've seen that thumbs down. The one down vote is from someone caught in the hive mind. Yeah, pretty much. David Moulton, you said, can you breathe on Mars? Are they lying to us? I believe that they can. Now, it's kind of like going up in higher elevation up in the mountains, right? Go up in really high mountains, very thin air. It's hard for you to breathe. I think you can actually breathe on air. And I also believe you can walk around with just a T-shirt during the day, summertime. It can get up to 70 to 100 degrees, I've read, in the shade. So you go, okay, well, how can that be? Well, if they're saying that it's a real thin atmosphere, then there's nothing to filter out the sunlight. So you can get just as warm here as you do on Earth. And they say, well, that's impossible because it's X amount of millions away from the sun. That's true, but you've got no filtering to stop the sun. Now, you do have a magnetosphere. You do have like magnetic field around there in certain parts of Mars. It's not all over Mars. So if you're underneath there, you'll probably be safe against the radiation of the sun. But as far as the heat, you'll get that. Now, they said it can get up to 70, 75 degrees on a normal day, well, in the summertime, in the equatorial region. So it has a water cycle. And even if you had to go there with a little bit of breathing apparatus from like living in the like regular city, it's like yourself, like I said, go to the highest mountain you can find that you can climb up. It's going to be a whole lot easier to, not easier, but harder to breathe compared to in the city, right, where it's easy. Big difference. I think you can, though. And because the closer you are to the ground, the more dense the air is, and I believe a lot of the oxygen is there, too. It's a more denser period, right? So I believe that you can. Wang Chung, you said the name of the alien in Reddit is Myzium. I guess it is. She was from another solar system near our solar system that ran out of fuel of her craft. When she was rescued, 3 triangle crafts appeared on the photo. Huh. I don't think I've ever heard that story. Pretty interesting. Kerry Griffin says, look at the Commander Scott Apollo 15. He could not get his drill out of the ground. Yeah, weren't they taking like core samples though? I don't know if it was that or he was literally having a problem trying to get the thing back out of there. It was either really, really dense or they were thinking somebody even said at one time drilled into like metal or something, which wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah, Frank, I think I agree with you. He said, I think there are pockets of O2 on Mars. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Woohoo! This one here was. This is from Joe over at Our Alien TV. He put up Gigapan. And you can see right here, Our Alien Gigapans. And this was uploaded when? July 30th, 2020. Last updated was August 10th. And what they do is they update is by putting these little markers. Anything that people find in here that they find interesting, they go ahead and they put a little marker there, so to speak, right? How can we find this one? This is the first time I'm looking at this one, to be honest with you. I brought it up, put it on a tab, and I haven't really started looking at it. But I think he had found some kind of what looked like skulls or something on here. Let's just back up here. See where we got all these markers. Like he's got right here. He's showing one here. He got one over here. It almost looks like you can see like the mouth and the eyes type thing. Not sure about that, but that's what he's got marked off in here. See that? Like the eyes, the nose, look like a mouth. Here's the original right there on this side. Basically, all you do is color it. Yeah, I love the shape of these so-called rocks. Look at this. Almost has this flat edge right here. Goes like this here. Like I said, a lot of these, when you see these kind of rocks, you go, well, a rock can be different, right? I mean, common sense. Rocks are rocks. They could be every shape and form and doesn't really matter. Yeah, but there's sometimes when you see these rocks, you can just see it just says CGI written all over them. You can see that they've actually been, manipulated, right? Mark B, what's going on? You said, hi, guys. Good to see you in there, Mark. Mauricio Rocha, what's going on, man? You said, hi, Chris. Thank you again. Hugs from Brazil. Good to see you in there, Mauricio, as always. You see, like I said, when I see rocks like these, I'm like, nah. I mean, there's rocks here. Don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, absolutely, yeah. There's absolutely rocks here. But there's a lot of things that are, like you can see like a bunch of stones in some of these photos where they look like they were blocks just blown to pieces, right? Look at this thing here. Almost like a half a circle type thing right there. Almost looks like it's got like a little tab right there. Let's see if we can't zoom this in a bit. We'll get rid of this. Right here. In fact, we'll get rid of my mug. That'll help. See the screen a little bit better. There we go. Right there we got like this half round piece. What is that all about? Right there. You guys can see that? Okay, let's see what else we got here. Look at this. I mean, kind of rock actually goes over like that. It goes over this thing with all the rocks under it, so to speak. I think what they're looking at is just civilization's been blown to bits, and this is what we're seeing. I seen this. This was pretty interesting. Look at this, how it has this edge of this rock has these two perfectly round pieces sitting on all these little pieces sticking out right there. And it has that just shape at the very end of this. See that? Just happens to be on this rock. You got this other rock next to it to the right. Has these pieces right here, almost symmetrical. One here, goes down. Got another one on this side, goes down. Come on. These things have been, look at like this whole rock right here, that's been manipulated. That's not even a rock. I mean, it just looks so, I use the term cheesy. It just looks so weird, man. It just doesn't even look right. You got this right here, looks like this diamond in the middle right here. And put it in the middle of the screen right there, this white diamond. And it looks like you got something that just comes from the top of that thing all the way down to the back. See that? Or it's just like it's like a higher pot in that so-called stone right there and going back. But it almost looks like a white diamond type thing right there. Sometimes that's all it is, guys. Just take a real close look at these things, and you can see some crazy stuff. What is this going on here? These kind of pieces in this so-called rock here. Wang Chun, you said, I don't think that the German helmet and spoons are rocks when you see it on the photos of Mars. Some of them are blown structures you can tell are cement boulders. Yeah, I mean, you can just see some of these things just been blown apart, blown in half. I mean, you know, you just look at it and go, what the hell? Yeah, it's just weird, man. It just doesn't make sense. Look at this right here in this rock. Nice 90-degree angle right here in the middle of the screen. Line coming down from it. Let's see what else we can find here. What can we find? You just never know what you're going to find in these things, man. It's... What's in here? Almost looks like a square piece right here. And it almost looks like the square piece that goes in it. It's almost like it's been cut out and then stuck back in the hole, the lengthwise. See it? You can see it right there. You can see I'm going to put it right in the middle of the screen. Right here. Looks like you got a 90-degree angle on the left. Go across and then drops down on the right. And it looks like that same square that was cut out was stuffed back in it. You guys see that? A little faint, but it's right there. Renee Vaughn says, thumbs up, people. Yep, hit it, man. Hit that thumbs up. Always appreciated. You guys are the best on that. Let me see what else we got here. Checking out more comments here. Let's see here. Let me back out. Here's what I was talking about, these little pieces right here. That little dot right in the middle of the screen. Now, if you pan out, here's another one. These are like markers or something in the camera itself. Here's another one. But you don't see any motion coming from either direction of it, right? So these are photos, and of course they're stitched together. This is the reason why you're going to see this. So if this one camera is seeing this, is taking these photos of this whole area, you're going to get that same artifact in every photo. That's just the way it is. Let me go back down here where we were at. Kind of interesting, right? It almost has this almost round circle type thing in there. Not sure what to make of that. Back out a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, William, yeah, you're right. It's pretty much dead pixels. It's just, like I said, it's an artifact in the camera itself. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, architect, yeah, pretty much. You know, these are just, like I said, I just call them artifacts because just so people know it's not something actually it's filming. It's actually in the camera. This, you know, and like I said with the other one, it looks like this little square or this little UFO type thing. Look at this. Look at the way this is like kind of got this rounded piece there, flat, but has this nice, almost slight curve to it. Oh yeah, I gotta love this rock. Now keep in mind, this is on a hill, right? It's on a hill, and this thing's balancing on this other rocks. But when you look, there's like these two white dots underneath it. Like I said, these are, you know, like I said, years ago I was told, again, another anonymous one, you know, when you first hear it, you're like, whatever, you know. But when you really analyze these things, they said right out, listen, they're using rock mimicking software. Keep doing what you're doing. You're getting closer and closer. Just keep doing it. I'm like, okay. But it's something I pretty much knew all the time anyway, just by analyzing these things. You got these other pieces right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Look at this right here in the middle of the screen. Right there. Something right there. It's got a small 90-degree angle right there. And you got these other pieces in here. What they do is they try to put everything white. In other words, what they can do is if they can try to take out as much shadows or dark lines, everything flows together. You can't make anything that's individuality out of there. It's just simply, you know, it basically takes out all the individual parts, right? Check this out. Nice and flat, straight over here. You can see the black line on the top of it. Put it right in the middle of the page here. Comes down, has that nice curvature at the bottom. Is that natural? I'm not sure about that. And David Moulton, yeah, you're right about that. You said, I wish they could just show us the truth. We know there's crap all over that planet. Yeah, absolutely. Look at this thing. Look at the size of this. And it's casting a shadow under it. Look at it. What is that? There it is right in the middle. You can see a shadow underneath it. This big rock here with this nice square piece right here. Oh, yeah. You know, you can't have all of this chaos and randomness and all of a sudden just find this, oh, there's a red square here, and just look right underneath that. There's another cutout for something sitting right there. Can't tell what it is, of course, but you can see this 90-degree angle like this cutout piece, and this thing's sitting right in it. Oh, yeah. These are rocks. I love this thing. I seen this. This is the first one. Like I said, I just started looking at this, but check this thing out. Embedded in this rock. Got this piece right here. Almost looks like a little cross type thing. Right there. Right inside. I put that in the middle of the screen. Whatever that is. And you can see it's kind of rounded right there. Like a quarter to half round piece. But something's right in the middle of that. Just look at the little pieces and coming out of this. Straight pieces right here. Almost looks like a nose cone to something right there. What do you suppose that is, guys? Daniel said, one thing I do notice on Mars is a lot of rocks appear to be floating. They're actually being held up by the lighter gravity Oh, okay, compared to Earth. You don't see this with one shot holding it up. Well, the thing is, to me, it's like every time I see this stuff, it's like if you see something balancing, it's usually nothing. It's part of this. I don't think I can find it again. We'll just do it when we see another rock that's similar to that. When you see that triangular rock that was just kind of like sitting up over there on top of the others, that's not a rock. It's something that's like part of something, and they made it look like a rock. Like this piece of crap right here. This is the one we're talking about. Right here, you go, wow, it's a rock balancing. No, it's actually an object, but they're just, let's say there's a piece of steel like right here, and it's connected to another piece down here. They just make it look like a rock, and it's like balancing off of it. You know, I'm not sure what it is, to be truthful, but I mean, and we can only speculate as to what it is, but you could see that. I mean, it's just crazy stuff, man. It's, like I said, if they can turn anything they want, they can rockify anything they want to, then there you go. They can make anything look like a rock. I'm with you on that, James. You said, Chris, I would love a big walk around up there. Just once, you know. Yeah, well, yeah. That'd be sweet. Maybe you said, look at the rock with the circle. What is it, the hole inside or the circle? You said circle. Is that the one I was just talking about here, Mimi? The one that was, crap, where did it go? Yeah, right here. Looks like a half one, or was there something else you were talking about? Yeah, Leo L, you said Celtic Cross. Yeah, it kind of looks that way, doesn't it, right there? Again, I'll put it right in the middle. And it looks like you get this like smooth nose cone. You just don't see the very tip. But you can see this going like this, almost like it's kind of going off into a point or a smooth point. I'm not saying that's what it does, but it kind of has that kind of look like it would. Now, what the heck that really is, no idea. Where's that other piece I just saw? There was something in a rock. Well, just these. If you were to take like a burn tool, you can go over this, you'd actually see all individual parts on here. Or at least a lot better detail. Sometimes you don't find a darn thing on these things, but a lot of times if it's whited out, oh yeah. And like I said, I've got that Mars one coming up where, like I said, it looks like a geological kind of the ground, the surface itself, and there's some white pieces on there. But once you get rid of you put like try to burn that away, all of a sudden you see like these three structures, like there's three round ones in a row, then there's a couple rectangular ones right in that same area where they literally covered up with white. It's just weird, man. Now this was on YouTube a couple times where it looked like a face type thing. At least that's what they thought. Like, oh, it's a robotic head. And the eye, and this is supposed to be another eye, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a nose, but to me, our minds play games big time when it comes to that because we have facial recognition, right? So there's a good chance that may be what it is. Rick C. said it all looks like shrapnel. Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, you said it was the left side. I think I know which one you were talking about. See if I can find that darn thing again. Now that I'm looking for it, I won't find it. Even the shape of this thing right next to this other rock. Look at this. See his hands right here. Has that odd shape to it. Well, a little bit odd anyway. Not sure what that is at top. Oh, are you talking about this one here, Mimi? This one right here has this almost a square block. Has this little circle in it. Look at this right here, and right behind it. You got this perfect straight line. This coming down. Now, does that do that in nature? I'm not so sure. Yeah, Kerry Griffin, you said the tall rock to the upper left looks like a statue head. Yes, it did. Daniel, you said, I love it when you said, oh yeah, these are rocks. I laugh my butt off. You say that all the time, and I laugh every time. I see what this one. Rob Bauer said, LOL, straight down a skull. Yep, kind of does look like a little skull right there, right? Right there in the middle of the screen. Got the two little. But again, that could be like a pareidolia playing games because, you see a rock and see the two. It actually does, though. It looks like a little skull. That's a fact, though. But yeah, you got these right here. You got this in the back. Nice straight line. You can see it's got a 90-degree angle right there, too. See that? Let's make this really big. Oh, yeah. Got this 90-degree angle straight across. Again, it's hard to believe you'd see something like that when you just see supposedly just rocks everywhere and stuff just laying all over the place, but then you got that. Oops, not going too far. And suddenly you got these pieces looking like that. It almost looks like a circle there too, but straight across a nice 90-degree little angle, and you got this white piece. Look at the shape of this thing. You're gonna tell me this is natural? I don't think so. Back that a little bit. Chris Pomey, yeah, what's going on? You said, what the hell is that? Yeah. I think, Joe, you said, all I see is blown up pieces of structures made of cement slabs as in building and lots of metal. That's exactly what I'm seeing. What's going on there, Pete? Good to see you in there. Pete's Vlogs is in the house. And yo. Excuse me. Rick C said also it seems like metal or some alloy, but no organic material like wood. Now, I've seen other things that look like trees, like a stump of a tree, or other, like, almost like petrified wood, like laying on the ground type thing. Yeah, I've seen crazy, crazy things like that. Let's bounce up here real quick. See what else other rocks we can find. There's a kind of V-shaped kind of rock type thing, almost. Right there. Look at this thing right here. You got these two pieces coming straight out of this so-called rock. Right here and right here. I'll put it right there in the middle of the screen. Something that looks like it's one white piece, straight piece, and another one right here. 1, 2. You guys see that? And whatever that funky looking shape is of that thing, this rock. You see what they've done here? It's something really faded out right there, but it almost looks like a circle and something in the middle. You guys see that? Right there at the top of this. It almost looks like it's got this arch type shape to it. Oh, they definitely done something with this thing. Look at this. Look at the pieces up here. Nice, flat, 90-degree angle, straight across, 90-degree angle down. What is going on here, guys? What do you guys think of that? Bruce Myers is in the house. She said, hey, Chris, what's going on there? It's good to see you in there. Pete's Vlogs is structures. Well, I see bits and pieces of just stuff here. Look at this. Even this right here. Rectangular piece, rectangular piece, rectangular piece. Looks like it's dark, but you can lighter ones just to the left of those. Come on. And there's something white right there at the top. They didn't completely take it out, or that's just the way it is because it's way up there. Yeah. Here's that one that looks like I said, we got these two straight pieces, like almost symmetrical right there. It's going, this is going straight up. Got that corner, comes over. This one over here to the right of it comes straight up and over. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to see one thing. You go, okay, that makes sense, but that's probably nothing. But when you see a lot of things that are like, just doesn't make sense, or nature possibly couldn't make it. Now, we know nature can do some incredible things, right? But when you see all of these things that kind of look almost intelligently made, what? Look at this. Nice cutout right here in the rock. Rectangular piece. Perfectly cut. What's the chances of that, guys? Look at this. I'm the same, just a different name. Virtual tour of Mars. Pretty much. And this is where we get to analyze stuff in here that, you know, and a lot of people will see these photos and go, man, these are just rocks. What are these guys talking about? Take a closer look. Take your time. Take a closer look. And you see things, you go, that doesn't quite look like it's actually natural to me. And if it's not natural, you got to say, what is it? Well, we can only guess as to what it was or is, but one thing guaranteed, you got to make a decision whether this is natural or it's man-made. It's as simple as that, right? Looks like a valve cover to an old Ford straight 250, straight 6 250. Transmission and bell housing. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, look at like little just oddities. Some of them's just maybe just rocks and they're just kind of weird. But you got like this piece right here, coming down this little straight piece. Got what looks like bricks or blocks right here. There's one up here. It looks like it's busted up. This little piece next to it, this little rectangular piece, has 1, 2, 3 little round pieces on it. Even this thing I found was weird right here. Look at the way look at the detail in this, but it's been faded off. Like they just kind of really try to take out any kind of shadowing or any of that sort in there. Come on. When do rocks look like this, man? Chris Probay says, I don't trust NASA. Well, like I said, I trust them for the technology. I don't trust them for the what they're just not divulging the truth. This piece right here looks weird. It's like it has this round piece. It goes straight back like this here, but underneath it looks like it's got like a cutout, a smooth cutout. Right there. I'll put it in the middle of the screen. Looks like it's round at the end. Dark center. Goes back to the right. Comes down here to the right. Down. But underneath it looks like it's got this little cutout. And you can see like a shadowing of it. At least that's the way it looks to me. I don't know what the heck that is, but go out a little bit here. Yeah, I see like parts. I don't see just simple rocks on the ground. I don't know what you guys see, but man, I see destruction. I see crap blown to pieces. I see stuff just laying anywhere and everywhere. Look at this. They didn't completely take this out. Look at this piece right here. Between these big rocks. Even this thing. Look at, oh, this is pretty cool. This little piece right here. I'm going to put it right there at the center. Get this square. Look at the lines running off at 1 on the lower left. 2 in the lower right. 1 coming out to the right of it, 1 coming out to the left, and it looks like it does the same thing in top corners. It branches out. What the hell is that, guys? How can that be natural? There's no way. Come on. And then when you look at the rocks, between these rocks, it looks to have like some kind of block, and it has like a cutout right there. Something sticking out of that cutout, but right there, you got this block down here, and then 1 above it right here. Yeah, what is going on there, guys? Nice smooth edge to this supposed rock right here. And going like this, coming out like a little bit. It has this curvature, comes straight down. Yeah, it looks like twisted metal. Looks like junk up here. Look at this. Come on. Even this piece is sticking out. This is cool. Looks like a black piece right here. It looks like it comes up, over, and then back down. It looks like it has a hole in it. Almost like this hook piece, like you can put a hook into, or something like right there. I guess it goes straight up, goes across, and then back down. It looks like it's got a hole in the center of that. Let me back out a little bit. And oh man, you can see this thing. This is crazy. The white piece, they really try to take this out right here. There's something overhanging. Got a black dot right there going across. There's something right here cut out. And something right in the middle. I can't really make that out. But right there, to the left of this little hook type thing. Oh, yeah. Pile of junk, guys. From a civilization. Blown to pieces. Look at this mess. Oh, yeah. I see rocks like this all the time in my backyard. Oh, yeah. Look at this thing. Oh, my God. That's mechanical if I've never seen it before. Look at this. 1, 2 pieces. Look at these things. Like compartments or something. Look at this. 1 at the top, and it's got something over the top of it. Let me just back out just a hair bit. Let me do it this way. Looks like a compartment right there with something over the top. You got 1 below it, almost a 90-degree angle, going like this here. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I see these all the time in my backyard. Oh, Mimi's jumping off. Good night, Mimi. Good seeing you in there. And you have yourself a good night there. And you and the family be safe there, right? $357 Robbie's in there. Good evening to you. Good to see you in there. Rob Bowers, he said they are hypothesizing there may be bacteria that lives in the upper atmosphere of Venus, where it's only 400 degrees. Oh, that's it? If crabs and shrimp can live in the 450-degree water near volcanic, why not? And I've said that before. You got the extremophiles, or these animals that can live in extreme conditions. Yeah, these things are just insane. I mean, extreme cold. They found all kinds of creatures, like in the depths of right on Antarctica. You know, just crazy stuff, man. All these little animals and stuff living in the deep waters. Oh, yeah. No doubt in my mind. Here's that square type piece again. Right there. Almost like you almost got an arch type shaped thing in here on this side of it. Look at this stuff, man. This is crazy. Not very clear, but look at it, man. It's just like you can see these pieces right here. Almost looks like hieroglyphs on this rock. Yeah, Noodles, you're right, yeah. Nothing to see here, just a junk pile. The Martian junk pile. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Noodles. Yeah, if you ignore the statues, bricks, and broken junk, it's just rocks. Yep. Kind of look odd looking rock there. Plus, it might be just that's all that one here is a stone. Look at this little pipe. Look at this little pipe coming right out of the ground right there. Right there in the center. I'm going to put it right in the center of the screen. Right there. A little black hole right there. And you can see it coming right down. And it looks like it's coming out of a black square. What do you guys suppose that is? Other than that's what it looks like, a little pipe. Got this piece right here, this funky looking piece. I'm not sure what to make of that. I'm going to zoom way in for a second. And you can see what it has this piece like this here. Comes down, has the body of it right here. But then look at the little square off to the right on the very bottom. Well, you could say it's kind of the... If we were to turn this, just rotate it just to the left a little bit, it looked like it'd be on the top right. Top right of the edge of this other rectangular piece. But look at the square. I'm going back out just a little bit. See that? Got this other piece right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces branching off of that thing. Let me just do this. Let me back out here this way. Like I said, I say it all the time, man. It just looks like stuff that's been thrashed about, ripped apart, you name it. This thing's been totally annihilated. And, of course, sometimes you can see things that not so much. Look at this. What is that mess? Look at this. Right here, goes straight across, comes back down. Looks like you got pieces going to the center of whatever this thing is behind this other rock. Which, clearly, that's not a rock either. But you can see this. What is that? Right in the middle of the screen. Yeah, the scale's definitely off, Noodles. Yeah, I don't know why there's a scale on there that says an inch. Yeah, yeah, buddy. Especially when you pull back from this photo, it's like, yeah, that's no inch. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I can tell you, oh, did you lose that? He said, oh, yeah. I saw that cog, too. That's a bit of off my, my mountain bike. That'll do it. Hate it when that happens. Rick C's taking off. Good seeing you there, Rick. Glad you stopped in. Thank you. Have yourself a good night there, right? We're going to be closing this up shortly ourselves. And, of course, you know, once this thing gets on, YouTube actually post it. Probably tomorrow have all of the links to these, all the pages we shared tonight. So just look out for those tomorrow. And you'll be able to go over this yourselves and have a good time with that because there's a lot of crazy stuff in here. Look at this rock. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at the nice straight cut on that. Goes across nice and straight up here. Drops down over here. Almost looks like it has a handle to it or some kind of weird piece connected to that. But one thing I find interesting is that when you look at these, look at this white piece to the right of it. Look at it. It literally goes into the side of this so-called stone. So is this the actual whiter piece right here? You can see the white piece right here. Is this piece actually been put there to block out something else? Because you can see, again, this white rock that's whiter goes like this. Look at the edge of it. It goes right into this so-called rock. What, they got transparent rocks on Mars? What is going on there? Now this unusual looking thing right here in the middle. Looks like it has a cutout. Looks like a keyhole upside down. Not sure what to make of that. World accumulates elites. He said, I believe that Mars inhabitants are us from eons ago, a breakaway civilization. Or maybe we broke away from Mars to Earth. And some stayed on Mars underground. We're refinding ourselves. Maybe that's why we just feel so connected to Mars. It ain't so much that they're really paying attention to it. You just feel it's like this connection to it, right? Hey, look, a giant foot. Oh, no, I looked at that. It kind of did look like it. And these pieces right here off to the side, like, it just looks like pieces of steel. It just looks like it's not something, or a strapping of some sort. It doesn't look like a rock, you know, although a rock can be different like a snowflake. You know, they're just many different shapes. None of them are usually the same. It's not the point. They don't look like rocks. They look like blown apart crap. Look at this. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Bam. You got this piece standing up on the ground right there. It's a little darker piece. You got this curvature piece right here where this looks like a round, like a little mini pipe type thing sticking out right there. It's round right there. Coming straight down. And then you got this white piece right here. Look at this. Nice and clean edge right there. Oh, yeah, that's natural. What is that? Stone swamp gas, guys? What is that? Could be. What do you guys think? Ninetail, is the sun a star? Or I'm not sure the whole thing, but yeah, it is a star. Oh, you gotta love that though. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's natural. This rock right here, something's clearly been busted off of that. You can see that. Looks like some kind of writing or something right here in this rock. Not sure what that is. What do you guys think of that thing right there in the middle, smack dab in the middle? Got something here, right here at the top. Look at this. Just to the right here above it and to the left. Nice. And just look at the actual pattern of this thing. It's got a nice rounded piece at the bottom of it. Comes up, straight across at the top, and comes back down. Huh. Back out just a little bit. I don't know if some of you guys are using magnifiers as well. So when I do back out, you can just stop it. Because you can always pause it if you want to, but then you have to play catch up. Look at these things. Yeah, there's a doorway out in the middle of nowhere. Now, I'm not sure what that is, but you can see it's white, whatever this is in the back. Almost blends in with the background. But right there between these so-called rocks, too, you get this white piece. You can just barely see it. And then you get this rectangular piece, this vertical rectangular piece right there. See that? Another funky looking rock right here. Look at the piece coming right off of this thing too. That's pretty cool. Right there. Thin piece. I don't know if it's a piece of steel, what that is, right there. Then you got this square, nice 90-degree angle. I'm going to back out a little bit. Right there. Goes to the back. We sure this is all natural? I'm not seeing it. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Like I said, you guys would get the link to this as always. You guys know that. And any other link we used, even if it was briefly on here, you get to check it out and read on the stuff. Good stuff. Not sure what this is. Nice cutout in this so-called rock here. Pretty interesting. I love when you have a stone that's like half dark and the other one's white. And clearly it's even if you can see it's in a shadowed area a little bit, but still, look at even the top of the rock is still a different color than the back part. Oh yeah, look at this thing. That's cool. Right there in front of it. Bam. Money shot. Look at this thing. How can you have intricate details like this, guys, and it be totally natural? I see people come over and it's so obvious that these things are like, you know, intelligently made, and they'll go, "It's a rock, man. What are you talking about?" I'm like, what is going on here? Oh my God. I like that username, William Mental Case Masters. The scale feels off. Yeah, it definitely is. There's no doubt. Because like I said, I can go way back out of here. Look at this. And these things are not just an inch across. But, yeah, I mean, this piece right here, guys, look at this. Wow. Right there. Let me just back out of this thing here a little bit. And we'll back in. It'll be a little bit better. Right there, smack dab in the middle of the screen. Look at the details in this thing. I can tell you that, yeah, all hidden in plain sight, eh? Yeah, it's right there. I see, like I said, I see mechanical a lot of stuff. I see electrical and mechanical stuff right there. It looks like technology to me. What are you guys seeing? Now, I don't know if it's the same thing you're seeing, Noodles. You said crab on the rock. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. Is that what it is? Let me see what else we got here. Right over here. The brown piece, a darker piece right there. That is weird, man. This right here, something else right here. Coming down. Got this piece, and this is like a little nodular piece right at the top of this. Wow. Like I said, if you just glance over this quickly, you just go, oh, there's nothing there. I just see rocks. But look at this stuff right in the middle. Look at this nice square with a round piece right in the center. Now I'm going to back out a little bit. I just want to show you this up close first. Right there. Square. Round piece. Right. Yeah, it looked like a giant statue type thing. Yeah, a statue. It might have been the eye socket, the mouth. Now, I'm not saying it's what it is. It's, like I said, it's just our mind playing with this. But look at this. Look at these pieces here. Just these alone. This is cool, actually. This piece on the right-hand side. This piece coming down, this white, well, it's like a grayish piece right here. Coming down. Look at the design of this thing, man. This is crazy. Almost looks like this, almost like a little mini stovepipe type thing coming out of here. It's got this round piece. Comes down like this here. Got a cutout for it. Oh, yeah. Plenty to see here, guys. Look at this thing sticking right out of the ground. Got a point to it. Look at the shape of it. Comes down, got that slant to it. Same thing on the bottom side of it. Well, if you just stand it up, it'd be like this piece protruding straight out. Got an angle coming down on both sides of it. Actually, it might be wider than that. It looks like it might be right down to the ground right here. It looks like one piece, round piece at the top of that one, both in this piece right here. Look at this. Look at this piece. This is awesome. This is right here. Comes straight. All of a sudden it comes down, has a bend to it, goes back up. And it has this black line right in the center of it coming down, and it stops right there. Has this black piece. Looks like something sticking out of there. But check that out. It's symmetrical, both sides. What is that? Plenty to see in these things if people just take their time, check this stuff out. But right off the bat, oh, rocks. Okay. Look at these. You can see, either these things are embedded in these rocks, or this stuff has been... Look at this. This thing alone is crazy. Oh, my God. It's either been embedded in a rock because of the weathering, or this has been manipulated to try to take it out. Look at this white piece. Look at this. Perfect. This is the stuff right here. This piece right here. It's in this rock. Now, I believe this has been manipulated, so it can cover most of it up. But look at this thing. Whatever that is right there. That is the real deal right there. Then you've got this darker piece. Almost look like a wheel type thing. Look at it. Nice and round, perfectly round right there. Has a piece sticking out like a... Let's say this is a wheel for argument's sake. It almost looks like a wheel with like an axle sticking out of it. And it's going up into this other piece. Maybe it's a vehicle. Look at this. It's got a back wheel. Hey, maybe it's their own miniature rover. No, I'm just kidding. But look, you got one wheel. Almost looks like another wheel. It looks like a body of this thing coming down in the front. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm not saying it is an actual... a vehicle of some sort, but what? It's like a cylindrical part here and one in the back. You can almost tell it's the same exact width and everything. And then you get this white piece. It's actually showing the real part of whatever this thing is. That's the real deal right there. That's what it is. NASA just wants you to take a quick look at this and say, oh, yeah, just look over it briefly, and you just love the rocks. You know, this is basically nothing but landscape and this, that, and the other. But the more you get into these things, like you guys are saying right now, the more you get into these, it's like, what? Yeah, look at this. Nice square cutout in the middle of this random rock. Yeah, no big deal right there. Come on now. Right there. Look at this. That's crazy. It's right here. Well, guys, we're going to jump on off this. As always, it's awesome, and thank you to Joe from Odido. No, Joe from Art Alien TV. He did a great job in his pan. Lots to see. You guys will get the link to it. Like I said, it'll probably be up there tomorrow, so check that out. And, of course, we got the other links here. You'll get Arecibo, all of these. Because you can read up on a lot of the stuff, the space news. This right here is as far as Osiris Rex. And a lot of stuff here to say. So, check that out as always. Like I said, just awesome stuff. And like I said, just looking at these photos, man, you just pull this stuff out. You're like, what is going on here? I mean, just some of the stuff you see here. I wonder if we can see anything else before we jump on off this. What do you think? Oh, a silhouette of a cat. No. Let me see. Not sure what this thing is. Tilt your head to the right. It looks like some kind of little piece right there. It's got two pieces sticking straight out of the side of it. Unless, of course, you tilt your head all the way to the right. It looks like two pieces sticking out. Like this thing is like tipped over on its side. Not sure of that. What to make of that? Nice slab sitting right here. All right, guys, like I said, we're going to jump on off this. As always, another great hangout. You guys are the shit. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody who's been in there, jumped in there, supported the channel. As always, doesn't matter what kind of support. Good support is always support. It's just awesome. If you guys haven't gave a thumbs up, please do so before you jump off. And it's always greatly appreciated. And again, I like that, Noodles. That's an effing cat. Yeah, just drop the thumbs up for me. Always appreciate it. You guys know that. And again, all the support is just awesome. You guys rock. I love you guys all. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Please be safe, and so we can do this again next week. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Nothing but love for you guys. I say it every week. I mean, it's just awesome. And I love getting on here on Friday evenings just to spend time with you guys and check different things out, talk about different news. I learn something new every day, every Friday, and we all learn together, right? It's what it's all about. So with that, I'm going to let everybody go. Have yourself a good one, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, guys.